this digital space, we shine so bright. LordBiegel, lead and watch the enemies fall. In this first-person dream, I give it my all. Final Fantasy realms, magic in our hands, battling the monsters, together we stand. Every pulse of the fight, like a rock and roll band. Grinding levels up, it's all part of the plan. From pixels to glory, our story unfolds. Chasing down legends with hearts made of gold. Come together, we'll play all night. In this digital space, we shine so bright. LordBiegel, lead and watch the enemies fall. In this first-person dream, I give it my all. We rise from the ashes, champions we claim. In this realm of pixels, we're redefining the game. With every duel we conquer, the sound of our name echoes like thunder, we're rising to fame. Come together, we'll play all night. In this digital space, we shine so bright. LordBiegel, lead and watch the enemies fall. In this first-person dream, I give it my all. I got my headset on, I'm locked in the game. With every match I fight, seeking fortune and fame. Sniping at the enemies, I'm never feeling tame. In this virtual world, I carve out my name. Crown on my head, achievements in my sight. Every victory earned under the neon light. Come together, we'll play all night. In this digital space, we shine so bright. LordBiegel, lead and watch the enemies fall. In this first-person dream, I give it my all. Final Fantasy realms, magic in our hands, battling the monsters, together we stand. Every pulse of the fight, like a rock and roll band. Grinding levels up, it's all part of the plan. From pixels to glory, our story unfolds. Chasing down legends with hearts made of gold. Come together, we'll play all night. In this digital space, we shine so bright. LordBiegel, lead and watch the enemies fall. In this first-person dream, I give it my all. We rise from the ashes, champions we claim. In this realm of pixels, we're redefining the game. With every duel we conquer, the sound of our name echoes like thunder, we're rising to fame. Come together, we'll play all night. In this digital space, we shine so bright. LordBiegel, lead and watch the enemies fall. In this first-person dream, I give it my all.
Hello, everyone.
For rectal use only.
I hope you guys got to hear that. Oh my lord. Shy's looking at various t-shirts that are for the most part inappropriate. And she saw a rainbow colored baguette and it said faggot underneath it. And she gimped.
There's a squirrel tag. Yeah.
Some days I wonder. Alright, John, hello. Wolf, Dice, Alpha, Joe, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I think all of our backs hurts, and for the most part, most of us don't care for the government. The fuck was that? Okay. I hope you guys are all doing well this evening.
No.
Apparently Shy is not.
No. I'm bad and everything sucks and my butthole hurts.
If y'all didn't catch that, apparently her butthole hurts. So she's not happy. Tay, hello. Making your stuff up for your Halloween costume. Hello, Albert. I let my dog out. I can hear him prancing behind me. Oh. Yes, I'm wearing jeans.
Look at that butt. It's a nice butt.
Bye-bye.
I'm sorry.
What? Testicular injuries in women's sports have increased since 2020. Wow. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Tay's in pain. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of comes with the territory. I mean, Tylenol. That's all I got for you.
No.
So, I was going to have an evening of talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I actually dug out some stuff to kind of talk about. I'll even see if I can get my camera to adjust a little bit so I can show it. Boom. Great big container full of it. Big old Rubbermaid toy chest from the 90s, I think. Full of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I have a huge collection. Shut the fuck up. No. All I can say is Tylenol. That's all I can do. Move my little Choco here in his little dice bag. And I was speaking with Andrew Stonerock earlier. A buddy of mine actually bought me this lovely book, The Making of Original Dungeons and Dragons from 1970 to 1977. Inside this massive book is actual setups that Gary Gygax and those involved with him were going through and writing about, along with personal letters inside this as well. Personal drawings they did. It's a massive collection that a buddy of mine got for me. It is quite large. I also have another book that shows all of the artwork that Dungeons & Dragons had when they were a part of TSR. I don't know where that is at the moment in time. I think it's upstairs. But I do have that as well, which is a massive fucking heavy-ass book as well. Beautiful artwork in it, though. But I figured I would talk about Dungeons & Dragons as I know it. All the stuff I have in my collection here, along with the tabletop that I've been working on, Eldarrun, Age of Wretchedness. And I can even go through some of the stuff that I have for that as well, which is what I plan to do. So you guys get to see a whole bunch of wild and crazy crap. I hope you're as excited as I am. If you can't tell, I'm just oozing exuberance at the moment in time. This is where some of my old school buddies would say, albeit jokingly, nerd. Dude, I am a fucking nerd. I will gladly take on the nerd title. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I know I've shown these off before, but we have a collection of 6 Dungeons and Dragons bottles.
Nerd! Yeah.
Thank you for that, Alpha. I'm just going to turn the camera. We have a collection up there of 6 actual Dungeons and Dragons bottles. One is for the Rogue, one's for Dragon, one's for an NPC, one's for Paladin, Warlock, and Druid. Yeah, fuck off. At least I'm not a computer geek. And then we have one for Courage, Whitestone Courage, which is part of Critical Role. And then we have a horror, Macabre Spirits, which I think we were talking about getting another one, weren't we?
Yeah, I just gotta have the money for it.
Okay, so we're going to get another one. Another, like...
Taking donations for alcohol.
We're taking donations for alcohol now?
Buy Shy her
Buy...
next item in her collection.
Buy Shy her next collector's edition bourbon.
I'm just kidding.
Had the same brain cell, yes. So, I brought this up in the post. What's the best way you guys have ever bribed a dungeon master? You better have a damn good
Sex.
story. Sex. Before or after?
Both.
Right on. As long as it's not during, so it gets weird.
I mean, people are into voyeurism.
I mean, yes. Not the point. Why did you come back in? You're just going back out. Diabetes. Those are awesome. Thank you, Joe. That's because I'm full of your DNA, right? Tay was saying that to Alpha. Not to me.
My God. I mean, what's up?
Sylvester, you just came back in. Why are you crying to go back out?
Second dinner?
Apparently it's second dinner time.
Out vest? Yeah.
And then I've shown this off quite a few times, but I enjoy showing it off, so I'll do it again. Not these. These are something else. Oh, my lovely little white box. Because I love showing this thing off. So look at that. Dungeons and Dragons White Box Edition. 3-volume set. Hi. Hi. You just made things creepy. No, you're not going to lick me. No. That was very loud in my ear. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Woo, got caught. Stopping in for a little bit. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Put your fingers right on his button and smash it. The fuck, Andrew? My button's too high for most people. But welcome in. Hi. What are you gonna do with that? Oh, it's your vape. Sorry, it's her Capri Sun.
What?
That's what everyone calls Heart's vapes. There's Capri Sun.
I don't actually have a vape.
You do have to have a vape.
Yeah, but it's not the good ones.
I'm sorry, it's not the
Those
good
are
one.
banned.
Yeah, they are. Okay. Did you finish your drink?
Oh my God.
You didn't finish it, did you?
You want it?
God damn it. Yes, I'll take your drink.
How much is there?
I don't know. It's not mine.
Run.
She might run into a wall. Why should I snuck up behind you? Run. Yeah, no.
Keep talking. I like when you talk.
This is like 3/4 of the way full.
Shut up.
She does this all the time. She will get a soda or something, usually up to 3 different drinks at one time, and leave all of them still partially full. Every damn one. Good morning, Rhythm. Juice and Honey, you two are so cute. Why are you blowing out my hair? Thank you for not having a mouthful of fucking vapor. Vape juice.
I'm not that mean.
Yes, you are. You should dare lie to me. Oh. Okay, how many books am I grabbing here? Ooh, shit. These are the really old ones. So,
Hi.
hi.
I said hi to Kels.
Huh? You said hi to Kels? Where's Kels? Oh, there's that Kels. Hello. Yeah, I do that too. My LordBiegel, hello. Hello, dear. People keep changing her, the way she spells her name constantly.
That's okay. It all sounds the same.
That's kind of true. Your kids love it. The weird kookiness or the vape?
I hope they don't like me.
I hope they don't like the vape either, but so the majority of my collection is all older stuff. Like this is I actually got my dad's name in it. This is one of the books he actually bought himself. From
1977.
Yes. Copyright date is 1977. So this is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is second edition, technically. They did actually republish this with a different cover, which I'm pretty sure I have as well somewhere. Unearthed Arcana is actually part of the stuff that we use as well. So Unearthed Arcana allowed dwarves to be clerics. It allowed the drow class. It allowed the gray elf, the Snivelbliven, which is the deep gnome. Yes, he's basically a walking ball sack 'cause he doesn't have any hair. That's not the... He's like a naked mole rat on like 2 legs. So if you guys have ever read Drizzt Do'Urden or any books by Ari Salvatore involving that individual, yes, all the deep gnomes he runs into, they actually don't have hair. They're all naked. They are hairless. They are just skin sacks. Deities and Demigods, which actually the name ended up being changed over time to something else. I think it was Legends and Lore, which I think I have that book as well, which is what it became. And this actually covers Pantheon of Gods for like almost every single religion you can actually fathom that you would encounter in the 70s is basically in this book. God damn, that smells like smoke.
No way.
My partial pops. Wrinkles. I don't have any wrinkles.
I do.
Oh yeah, you got something like wrinkles, more like dimples.
No, I'm just old.
I'm still older than you are. Keep the magic alive. Got Monster Manual 2 as well, which actually brought in, if I remember, this actually brought in the Beholder Kin along with the Devas. Yep, there they are.
Let's move this.
The what?
Go back.
To what?
Go back.
I'm going back.
Oh no, that's a dude. No.
The what? What one are you looking at?
The angel thing. I thought I saw boobles.
No, that's just...
I thought his name was Dave.
No, it's Dave.
Astral Dave.
It's not Astral Dave, it's Astral Deva. There, see, it's an angel. Angel. Astral Deva, not Dave.
Astral Dave.
No, it's not showing boobies. However, you can find them in this book, but I'm not telling you where. This is also the one that brought out the big-time demons as well. A lot more of the major demons and daemons and all the others.
Oh, I found you.
You're an asshole. Are you talking about this guy?
Yeah.
The giant orangutan?
Yes, sir.
You're a bitch. This collection of books, as they are right now, is actually still worth about $150. I'm not sure what this is, though. This is the character recording sheet. Jesus Christ.
Character record sheet.
Record recording. It's the same damn thing. Oh my, they're not even touched.
Don't touch that.
Like, look at that artwork from back in the day. That is amazing shit. That is fucking amazing. You said ball sack, that's why I said wrinkles. I fought some Devas in Baldur's Gate 3. Are there some in Baldur's Gate 3? I've never been able to play it, so I don't know. Fighting divas and Daves. Now it's Astral Dave. Astral Dave is going to come destroy you before an Elder Red Dragon. Fucking damn it, Dave.
Okay, how's that?
She's got your mind.
Yeah. We're two halves of a whole idiot. No offense, Tay. I love you.
Oh my god, these things...
Smell.
They smell so bad. My father's been a lifelong smoker. The Fiend Folio, if you ever played old Dungeons & Dragons, this is something you never wanted your DM to bring out because it automatically meant you were going to be fucked royally. And not a single creature in here is actually good. They are all either neutral or evil. Like, there is no actual nice characters, I think, in this entire book. God, there's so many stains. Dad, what were you doing?
Don't question it.
Oh, it's Bob Sticky.
What he does in his church is not your concern.
Right. Diva Dave the Mighty. I love the old art style. I love an old-fashioned pencil and paper. She actually does amazing artwork with pencil and paper. Yes, you do. If I had your Slim the Earthen Mother drawing right now, I'd definitely be showing that.
I don't even know where it is.
I don't know where it is either. You put it someplace. Which is one of the gods for the tabletop I'm doing. You fight them if you rob the Stormshore Tabernacle. Basically a church. I know what a tabernacle is, thank you. I'm Catholic. I have to know what a tabernacle is. Divas can be worse when fighting to fight than Daves. Place them in a bag with your dryer sheet. With a dryer sheet. I mean, I could do that and seal it. Tay is currently 60% sticky. Is Tay-Tay in the book? She is the anti-hero. Tay-Tay is not in the book. I mean, doesn't mean she can't be. Player's Handbook. This one's actually extremely old and kind of falling apart.
Just like you.
Just like me. This is back in a time where like things were super simple. Just like me. You're such a bitch. I'm just looking at the experience tables. The experience tables are horrid in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but the setup for everything was really, really nice, clean, and clear. Like, it told you your class was, like, you had cleric, armor, you could wear any shield, you could use any weapons, you could only use a club, flail, hammer, mace, and staff. Like, at least it told you what you could use and what you can't use. Oh my god, just smell that.
Nope.
Do the limbo, baby.
Oh god, it touched my face. Not what I wanted to touch my face.
How's it going, Heart? Gotta go. Need to distract Heart with cannibals. Yes, go do your forest thing. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, you touched me with a dirty book. At least I'm showered. A little bit sweaty from work.
Oh, I showered too. I'm still handling these things. I have a lot to go through, actually. A lot of this collection, because we're going to get nerdy.
Well, you have fun with that.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
Oh!
Sorry. Did I run over your toe?
No, I almost fell over.
Oh, okay. Now feels bad then. Hi. Hello, Pam. So the dryer sheet neutralizes the smoke smell. I will have to do that because these have a smoke smell. The DM's guide. This is another one from the 70s. I actually have 3 copies of the Dungeon Master's Guide. I think I have 9 copies of the Player's Handbook. 2 different covers for that. 3 Fiend Folios. 2 Unearthed Arcanas. 2 Monster Manual 2s. Deities and Demigods, 2 different versions. Then I have the Legends and Lores. I think is my full collection of old Dungeons and Dragons books, because I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons freak. DM for 20 fucking odd years, man. I love it. I am a nerd. Thank you, Jesse. I have a hobby. I'm sorry. It's not just staring at Dean or Sam Winchester. This is another Dungeon Master's Guide. This one was actually released afterwards. This is when they started making everything more streamlined. Unless this was in the 80s. If I can ever fucking find it. Yeah, okay, so this was 89, I think? No, this would have been early 90s. That's a mark on there for 95. Just doesn't say the exact copyright date on it. This is when they started making things a little bit different. Started going a little bit farther with it. Like, the artwork is still really good, though. It's amazing artwork. They had so much They had so many different artists actually throw their stuff into it. A lot of them were picked out of drawings and whatnot when they originally started. It was just amazing. I really wish things would do that more. Ooh, that's a broken book. Here is the other version of the Dungeon Master's Guide from the late 70s, early 80s. I think I actually like this cover better than this cover. Which one do you guys like better? Going the wrong way. Here we go. Do you guys like devil holding woman or man walking through gate? I think this is the actual older version of the two. No, wait, this one is. This is the older version. This is the newer version. They're still really old, though, either way. We're all a little nerdy. Yes, we are. I gave my kids all my DM stuff. No. Hello, Kyle. She just went to bed and she's only 20% sticky. That's rude. I can't control it. Don't look at me. Even Alpha's only 20% sticky. The man in green. The man in green coming through the doorway with every single known horror behind him. That's my preferred. I like that as a much better cover. Love the green on that left one. Okay. The devil one looks cooler. The gate pick just because more details. I agree completely. I'm still kind of new to D&D. Streamer I watch does his own D&D choose your path style. I've been doing Dungeons & Dragons for over 20 years. I have my entire father's collection of them. I have so many collectible Dungeons & Dragons things. I do plan on one day, hopefully, actually sitting down and doing a live stream of it. Palladium RPG book number 3, Adventures on the High Seas. That is a book I will probably never actually use, but it's got some interesting classes. It's got the Gladiator, the Pirate, the Acrobat, the Bard, and new character classes, new skills, and magic items. It's got fairy food. That'd be an interesting thing to go through. New curses, different ships, and adventures after island adventure. Like, even the drawings in this book, which is just a small, like, little sub-book, actually looks quite nice. Whew, still smells really bad, though. Like, the pictures are quite nice. Is that? Okay, that is a Cyclops holding the Thunderbolt of Zeus, I think. And, like, they even gave you a really nice map to go off of, too, for the Isle of the Cyclops. Like, some of this stuff was just amazing that they came up with and that they actually made art for and books for. Sticky Twins. Hides large. Magic the Gathering collection pushes glasses up. I don't have a Magic the Gathering collection, but I have my original Pokemon collection. Magic the Gathering was not my cup of tea. Man walking through the gate. If you think about it, a beef Wellington is just a corn dog in a different tax bracket. Thanks for that, Tay. Thank you so much. All right, so now that more people are here, what is the best way you've ever bribed a dungeon master? Shy said sex, so I think that kind of tops the best. But what's the best way you've done it? And what I mean by bribe the dungeon master, right? My group realized that I enjoy root beer. So if they wanted to start off the session really well, they'd bring me a case of root beer. Or they'd contact me ahead of time to make homemade potato chips, which I'm always thrilled to do. I love doing it. And then we'd have like, you know, we'd go through like a 10-pound bag of potatoes very quickly while we're playing the game, because I'd be constantly making potato chips as we're playing. And that was a way to bribe me, basically, to make it so it goes nice to start with. Do you have any Dungeons & Dragons video games? I do. I do have quite a number of them, actually. I own all the Baldur's Gate games except for the latest one, which is Baldur's Gate 3. I don't have that one. I have Dark Alliance. I have Dark Alliance 2. I did have Norath 2. I have the original Baldur's Gate games. I have the Daggerdale expansion. I did play Dungeons and Dragons Online, Neverwinter. What else have I played Dungeons and Dragons wise? There was one for the Xbox, but I don't remember what it was called. It was Dungeons and Dragons something that I played as well, way back when. Well, in stream subs, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you meant by that statement, or maybe I'm missing something beforehand. Never been able to lure him to an open manhole, and sorry, wrong meaning. Since my dad was my DM, I would tell him I would do my chores with complaining. My dad was my DM to start, and I will tell you guys, one of the greatest moments I ever had with my father, the first time I swore to his face, we were playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was me, my buddy Cash, and my buddy Bo, and the three of us were playing together, and we were walking down a path, just roaming from one town to the next, is what I believe it was, and my father said we encountered a creature. He said the creature's approximately 7 to 8 feet tall. It's got green, motley-looking skin. Its hair is jet black and kind of greasy. Its eye sockets are just dead. Nothing actually there. It's very sinewy and emaciated, and it's just staring at you, sniffing the air. Now, my friends didn't know what the fuck it was, but I did. I did very quickly, and I look at my father, I'm like, you son of a bitch. And my father lets out one hell of a goddamn cackle. For those of you who are aware of this, you could probably tell me exactly what that creature is. That sounds like the worm. Not quite. Something a little bit worse. Kids DM chores complaints would be bad. Stream of subs. That sounds a little too familiar to the tapeworm. No, it's not the tapeworm. I promise you that. For those that have encountered this creature, it can only be killed by fire or acid. It has a very high regeneration ability, and it is relentless. It will continually hunt you down. Now, we were only level 2 characters at the time of this encounter. And when I called my dad a son of a bitch, he cackled so loudly my friends became terrified. And I said that we have to burn it. Burn it with fucking fire. Because that is like the only way to stop these incredibly dangerous creatures. If you've played Baldur's Gate, you know where they are. You know there's an entire forest full of them. If you've looked into the map of the Swords Coast, there's literally a forest named after them. It was insane. That was one of my first early sessions with my father as my DM, and I hated it. We didn't beat the thing either. Correct, Wolf. Trolls. It was trolls. It was one singular troll. It was a horrid experience. We got to a point where we actually severed it, like, down its spine, and my father was such a dick, he actually made it so the trolls regenerated, and it just regenerated 2, like, not separate trolls, but 2, like, torsos on one set of legs. Because my father's an evil bastard. That's what he decided to do, basically. So that was a fun experience. Yeah, I hate fucking trolls. That's what my dad did to us. For some individuals might actually know about Dragon Magazine. Dragon Magazine was huge back in the day. I don't think it's around much anymore. I know my buddy has the entire thing of it on disc. So we go through and look for things all the time. And my father actually got a book of dragons and dragon lords. I think he ordered it from Dragon Magazine, and it actually goes through and talks about the Dragon Lord classes. It even talks about the biology and parasites and diseases that dragons can actually, incur. Which is insane that it's actually going through in detail about all these different things that can happen to these dragons, right? And I don't see these types of things at all anymore with modern Dungeons and Dragons. And it's kind of sad that this stuff has kind of just been thrown to the wayside. It talks about their molting procedure. Like, it goes super in-depth into crazy stuff. And this book is basically mint condition. It's got like hardly any actual wear and tear on it. Then we have another one, which is dwarves, which is just new races of dwarf, different classes they did, different kingdoms, different skills they could obtain. The drawings for this one are not quite as good as some of the other ones, though. Oh my god, they're really bad. That one's actually kind of nice. The other one next to it's really bad, though. I have so many wild things that my father gave me. Dungeons and Dragons is one of the few things that I really love my father for introducing me to. And eventually, I hope to be my children's dungeon master and show them these things as well. He sounds like an evil genius. He was. My father was a dungeon master for his original group. He created... It took him 3 months to do it, but he created a stronghold that could not be penetrated. Penetrated. You couldn't fly into it. You couldn't dig under it. You couldn't storm it by bashing the walls down. The walls were all angled. They all had slopes. Underneath was a horde of gnomes and dwarves, so they would hear you mining or tunneling underneath. And on the ramparts, it was filled with elves. So even if you tried to fly, the elves would shoot you down. My father went hardcore building this thing because he was told he couldn't make something that was unbeatable. And I sat down looking at that thing he made for probably about 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, nope, there's a way you can beat it because the guards have to have a patrol. And he goes, exactly. He goes, the only way you're getting in is if you ruin that guard patrol. Otherwise, you'd never get into it. And you'd have to time it exactly right because they only pass each other at 3 points. And he goes, so the odds of you ever making it that way would never work. And his friends could never figure it out. So that was their impenetrable fortress, is what my father built for them. Kids were more interested in computer games. I'm all about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm all about sitting down with books. It's nice to have this passed down too. I have a lot to pass down. I actually have something that nowadays is pretty much gone. The world of Greyhawk has been altered significantly in the Dungeons and Dragons space, and I have the original map of the world of Greyhawk and the original construction of the world of Greyhawk, which is now no longer around because they've changed everything because of cataclysmic events in the lore of the world. Dad gave me the love of Carlos Santana and butterscotch. Carlos Santana is amazing, by the way. Completely amazing. I'm sorry that you miss him every day. I understand that type of longing and sadness. Not for my father, but I have it for my mother, so I understand that. I believe it was Miss Kelly yesterday brought up the Kender. The Kender is a very particular type of race, and it is from... It is from this, the Dragonlance series. Kenders are basically like little hobbits or halflings, but they are extremely kleptomaniacs. Like, they will steal anything and everything and say they're just borrowing it. The Dragonlance book series is actually amazing. If you guys have not gotten into them, I definitely, sincerely say do it. It is an amazing read. There's a lot of different books, a lot of different stories that are told. Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman made amazing, amazing tales. And when they turned it into an actual tabletop, it turned out pretty good too. Oh god, that's falling apart. Oh, is it in here? It is. Oh god, yes, it is in here. Shit, where am I gonna put this now? My dad was a farmer, rancher, horse trader, so a different set of interests there. My father was a farmer. His father was a farmer. My dad decided to start doing mechanics and went into that. See, World of Greyhawk. This is where shit gets crazy. But my father was introduced to Dungeons & Dragons from a buddy of his back in his school days. And they were friends all the way until that man's passing, which was, I believe, 2 years after my mother passed away as well. I'm seeing... Yep, there it is. Okay. So, in this box set for the World of Greyhawk, it actually comes with a map. Now, this map, with all the pieces displayed, actually covers the entire length and width of a full card table. The map is huge. So if I ever get the ability, I get the space, I will be taking this original map of the World of Greyhawk and displaying it properly in all of its glory. This one is from 1980, before all the changes happened, which is insane that the map is still here. The books are all still here, and they're all still in extremely great condition as well. And Greyhawk was just another realm to play in for Dungeons & Dragons. The rules were all basically the same, but it was just a whole nother realm to play in. They involved factions of different types. You had amazing artwork for the world as well. Like, look at that. That is amazing. Ooh. Trying to remember how big this one actually opens up to. And when they gave you maps, they made sure that the maps would cover quite a large space. You can see there's a single castle here, you have a arena down here, you have all these village people, you have the canals. Looks like some form of farming area up here next to another monastery. Like, it is insane the detail that they went into when they did this. And it just continues. This is the city of Greyhawk. And it's massive. That's what Dungeons & Dragons used to be. Now it is all digital, which kind of takes away some of the, amazing aspects of what it was. And typically they are happy-go-lucky. We need a bigger desk. I might need a much bigger desk one day. You don't have to be sorry about that. My mother's passing happened 22 years ago. Everything you have is really impressive. I think it's extremely impressive, and there's still a shit ton more yet. I was actually looking for the Mines of Moria that my father has, because we have that too, for if anyone ever wanted to play that. Could actually go into the mines. Dragon Riders of Pern is amazing. Anne McCaffrey is an amazing author. She has very, very flowery writing, but if you can get past that, she is amazing. The stories she tells are fucking fantastic. So yes, I know what that is. But she has very flowery writing. Very flowery writing. But it's Dragons of Pern. Look it up. anything by R.A. Salvatore, anything by Ed Greenwood, stuff by David Dalgash, McCaffrey. I'm trying to think. Oh God, who wrote about Pug? The Mage's Apprentice, I think is what it was called. Or Mage's Assistant. I can't remember who wrote about Pug. She is. I loved it. It's a really fun book series. Ooh, here we go. So some people brought this up to me before, saying that if I don't have the red box, the battle system, that I'm not a true D&D person. Well, guess what? I fucking have it. It is here. This one is very, very well worn, though. Like, take a look at this artwork. They're riding on a fucking Triceratops. They're going into battle on a dinosaur. It's insane. There's a big old bear back there as well. A couple pewter figurines in here. All the books are still basically mint condition as well. He wasn't a game writer, but Terry Brooks' Shannara is a great read. I'll have to look into that. Like, I don't think my father used any of this stuff at all, because it is completely untouched. And I mean, like, untouched. The entire battle board pieces are still in their spots in this box set. I don't believe he ever planned on keeping it as a collector's thing, but it is now. These are all collectors, even though they're worn down in the boxes and stuff. It's still all collectors. It's crazy. Yeah, not yellow or anything, no. I'd be riding a dinosaur right now if I could. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be rad. It'd be so rad, man. It'd be so tubular. Like, oh my gosh. Oh. You guys want another Dungeons and Dragons story? I just thought of one looking through that when we talked about dinosaurs. Terry Goodkind, yes. Zoinks. I always want a Stegosaurus. Sure. Okay. One of the other campaigns that my father ran for us, I was playing a human fighter, just pretty simple. My buddy Casey at the time was, I want to say he was either a magic user or a rogue. So those were his two most prominent characters that he played. And we weren't being super crazy with races, so he would have just been an elf at that point in time. And then I think we had Cash and Bo too. We would have been... The fuck was that? Thank you, Alpha. Jesus Christ. We would have been probably about 13 or 14 years old at that time. And we were playing, and my father had us in a cave system. And we were doing our best to be like lined up in a row with our torches, creating as much light as possible so we could see the floor, we could see, out in front of us and everything. But none of us thought about ever looking up, right? We always thought about looking around us, making sure we could see each other, making sure we could see the floor, making sure we could see everything, but we never thought about looking up. My father had 6 giant spiders descend from the ceiling on top of us. In a fumble that I had, I lose my torch. But the fumble actually had me throwing the torch. And it actually went in the direction of where some of the spider thread was descending from. So we ended up lighting their entire spider web on fire above us, and a bunch of little baby one-hit spiders were dropping all around us on fire too. And my dad is like, ha 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 ha, this is hilarious. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Well, I'm out of torch. There's a giant fire above us. These giant screaming wolf-like spiders are trying to come after us while all their babies are dying. My friends leave me in that cave alone, and I have no light, and I'm human. I died in that fucking cave. I only died because I fell in a goddamn hole. Otherwise, I would have been fine. But I fell in a fucking hole. My dad would always come up with amazing, crazy shit just to ruin our days. The Landover series. I will have to look into that. Fuck spiders. Fuck spiders. The Belgrade, I think is how it's pronounced, is an amazing series. By David Eddings. How rude, left like bait, basically. But to be fair, when I would play a drow fighter, magic user, thief, I would leave people all the time. All right. I mean, if we would get attacked at night, I would vanish into the forests around us or whatever terrain we have, let everyone else around the campfire get attacked, and then I'd come in the back and just start stabbing people. I used my team as bait hundreds of times over. It is a great tactic because you always get surprise attacks on the enemies because they don't know where you're coming from. So it's okay. Miraculously, you survived. I did not. I did not survive that. I died. They survived. And then they were told you have to obtain a silver dragon statue to bring me back to life. And I don't think we ever found that statuette. So you torch, you cast fireball without using a spell slot. Basically, yes. If you've ever seen like a spider silk or spider thread and you touch a match to it, it'll go up like nice and fast. So remember to never be on your team. I always saved them. I didn't let them die. I just used them as bait for a little bit. Hell, I did it when I played a halfling too. A group of ogres came in, and I was a halfling, and I was curled up in as small ball as I possibly could. And the ogres, they could see me with their infrasion, which is a form of heat vision. You can see heat sources, but you can't do anything else there. And they came running into the camp, and they're going after the human, they're going after the elf, they're going after the dwarf. I pop up, and I just start stabbing my daggers into the back of an ogre, climbing him up a ladder, like a ladder. Could end up being very useful information later. Exactly. It very well could be. Basically like an assassin. Similar, but this was before the assassins actually were more prevalent. But yes. Oh, wow. This is my father's original, it's his original crit hit and fumble tables. That's cool. There's a couple fumbles in here I'll read off right quick. Shield becomes tangled with an opponent. Shield becomes tangled with an opponent. Neither character attacks the next round. Weapon breaks. You hit yourself for half damage, normal damage, double damage. You hit your friend for half, normal or double. You crit yourself. You crit your friend. You twist your ankle for half speed for a turn. You're distracted. Opponent's next turn at a +3 to hit. Oh, that'd be terrible. What we got here? We got blind in one eye. Your larynx is punctured. You're struck in the head. You lose 1 to 3 intelligence points. Anthony doesn't have to worry about that. He's already so low. You break a leg. You get struck in chest. Ribs broken. Heart punctured. Immediate death. Damn. Wow. Having connection issues. Sorry. Going to listen on the TV. Alrighty. Always use the meat shield to draw the enemy in. Exactly. You have to. You have to use the meat shield. Anyone that's a fighter or a paladin or a barbarian, that's your meat shield, man. This was my dad's handwritten encumbrance sheet, so you knew what things weighed, because everything has a weight and you have to worry about it in Dungeons and Dragons. It's not like some of the other games where you can magically carry fucking everything under the sun. That's crazy. That is insane. Anything that bite? No, okay. My father's original Lord of the Rings Two Towers book. That's interesting to find in here. He always used the stuff by J.R.R. Tolkien to name places or creatures or people. He would go through the Silmarillion and just find random names in the back of it, in the appendix of it, and just bring them up. Forgotten Realms was another one that my father enjoyed playing in. The Forgotten Realms. He actually had in the full collection, but when he went into the military, he gave his Forgotten Realms box set to somebody, unfortunately, and then they never met with each other again, and he lost the entire box set, which is really sad because it was a very expensive box set. I'm going to need a very large room to display everything one day. I apparently have a lot of empty binders. Too bad. Oh, no shit. So, I apparently have found one of my dad's actual campaigns in here. This was a campaign against, would have been me, Casey, Tim, and Missy. Wow. So those are some people that, a couple I still speak with, not very many. There's the one with me, Bo, and Casey. Good Lord, I can't believe my father actually kept all these things. That's why you always try to get a bag of holding. Exactly. My father would always go through and hand draw all of his maps too. He didn't like using maps designed by other people, so he always went through and hand drew them. A 6-foot-tall naked woman with a head of snakes. Okay, Dad. I'm glad we didn't meet that. How many caves are in this damn thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14. 14 different caves in this place. Holy shit. I think my father was out to kill us every single time we played against him. Holy crap. Good morning, Cal. Role players keep everything. My father apparently did, because some of this stuff is like going back to before I even started DMing. So going back to when I was in my early teens. That is crazy that my father kept it. God, all of his maps look so nice too. I just found a character in here and I'm going to show it to y'all because you won't believe me if I say it. This was my father's character that he played a couple times in a few different campaigns. The guy's name is Oscar Fuckbrother. Oscar Fuckbrother. A human ranger. That's just insane. I'm sorry, I'm kind of gimping out because I didn't know I actually had a folder with all of his stuff in it. My apologies. I have other collection to show. Ruthless DM. Very ruthless. Role players keep everything. Good morning, dear Cal. I have Rollmaster and AD&D stuff from forever ago, plus all the minis, notebooks full of notes. That's what we're going through. We're going through my father's collection that I now have. The Living PC and Histories. Jesus Christ. Middle Earth. Here we go. This is a bunch of actual character sheets for Middle Earth. Okay, what's this one then? The Great Clans of Mengelana? Achievements of the Great Clans of Rogna and Locus? The fuck? Columbia Games from 1987. Never heard of this one. Still, the maps are amazing. Still smells really badly of smoke, but such a cool fine blast from the past, and he put real effort into those. He did. My father was very much into doing it that way. That's kind of why I still do it all myself as well. I don't like using many things, but I do use Incarnate every so often to do large scale stuff. My father, when he made maps of towns, he always wanted to put color in them. So you can see the yellow is farmland, and then all the green is all the forest you would encounter around the actual city structures. Some of this stuff I don't think was ever even used. It's called Littleton. That one wasn't even finished being colored in yet. Good lord. I know some people would use not just fuck brother, but fuck sister too. Hello, mouse. I still have all the adventures I wrote for a LARP group. I don't keep all of my stuff, because usually I go with the idea that if it's gone, it's gone, but I usually have everything up here. Cool. Oh boy. This was one that my father and his buddy tried to get into a lot and had a very difficult time getting into, and that's the Oriental Adventures. If any of you guys have ever looked into this, it has, the honor system is so extreme in this that it is hard to do a lot, but it does give you the full stuff for samurai gear, for ninja gear, the weapons, the names, the whole 9 yards. But my father said that the honor system was the only thing that made it difficult. And they have a whole bunch of new spells for the Oriental Adventures and everything. The ancestry was a big thing they had to worry about when they were doing their character creation in this. God damn, that's old. I told you, here it is. Dragonlance, it's right there. It's an actual tabletop RPG. I was not deceiving you all. Look at that artwork. Look at that shit. That is amazing. Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss. This was $15 and my father bought it. The book is barely even touched. It's all about the world of Kryn. About all the different types. You can get the different type of dragon folk, the tinker gnomes, the gods, the dwarf types, the lovely little kenders. It's all here. Did do the pirates. I had a book earlier that was involving that. It was this one. This one. Adventures on the High Seas. Another book for Greyhawk, compatible with AD&D and 2nd edition AD&D game systems. This one's from 1988 by James M. Ward. Like, why can't books have that type of artwork anymore? Why can't games stop and have that type of artwork sometimes? It's just fucking phenomenal. Become part of the oldest continuous fantasy campaign as you explore parts of Oreth never seen before. Learn about Greyhawk's deities, heroes, monsters, arcane items, magical spells, and much, much more. A book for lovers of Greyhawk and players of all fantasy role-playing games. TSR exclusive. I think it's Tubi or Roku channel that has a channel dedicated to Dragonlance cartoon. Dude, the Dragonlance cartoon was actually really good. The Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was actually really good. What was another one? Something Quest. Del Toro Quest. That's actually got a decent book series. And cartoon. I live role-played a Kender. They didn't like me. My tin whistle playing. I mean, the tin whistle playing would be the least of annoying thing involving the Kender. It's the kleptomania. Anything that's not nailed down to the floor is theirs. Little top knot. Oh shit. Oh, Daddy-o, you gotta cut back sometimes. That's a collection of his old dice. Ooh, that bag smells really bad. Oh, fuck. I think I just smoked a pack my damn self. Del Toro Quest is very popular in manga, also Elf Quest. I never saw Elf Quest. Hero Quest. I didn't rob him the character bank. Shifty look. We have City State of Invincible Overlord by Gary Gygax as well. Reality has changed in Calandia. The very fabric of the cosmos has torn. The horrors more monstrous than the city-state has ever before suffered threaten the heart of the continent as the city-state of the invincible overlord prepares for apocalypse. You must discover what evil menaces Briarwood. Centaurs, Nagas, Pixies, and Lizardmen. The race books. Alright. Some of the newer, we're right here. Almost like collecting strategy guides for games. Yes. I only played horror roleplay like Call of Cthulhu. I did a lot of Call of Cthulhu. I've done a lot of East Texas. I've done a lot of different GURPS. Some of them were definitely horror based because they're entertaining. When I did Call of Cthulhu, though, my friend who was the dungeon master of that at the time was taking it and trying to make it Final Fantasy VII-esque at the same time with certain characters and certain equipment, which made that very, very strange. You opened a cloud. Yes, I did. Some of the newer D&D campaign books aren't even very good now. No, they're not. I played D&D once. It was fun. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love going through and sitting down and creating stuff and having people enjoy that and having those memories stick. It's needed. It's needed for people to have a way to express their actual inner imagination, and Dungeons and Dragons is a way to do it. Get a bag of charcoal and place items in the bag with charcoal bags and leave for 3 days. Dryer sheets and Lysol works well, but strong soaked in stuff charcoal will help. I will have to do that. I don't ever want to open up that bag again right now. Oh my god, that was so bad. Original Dungeon Master screens, player reference screen, because they had those for the players. The original Dungeon Master screen right there. Rollmaster, the game of critical hit tables and having to use math to figure out if you decapitated them or not. I haven't, but I'm pretty sure my father might have. I work with books. It's awesome. I might have to ask for more help one of these days because I have a lot of these. This is just one of the chests, one actual toy chest full of this collection. I have 2. I have another one. Oh god, that's a big folder. What the hell do we got in this one? Oh, no shit. Did he actually do this? Oh my god, he did. No fucking. Okay, I found out what I have to play now. So, when I was younger, my friend and I found a Ravenloft box set. Ravenloft is like Transylvania on fucking steroids, alright? If you're a good character and you wander into Ravenloft, no matter where you are, they know you exist. They know your exact location the moment you enter Ravenloft. And we asked my father a long time ago if he would DM a campaign for us there. And I found all his notes for the campaign. And all the things that he hand drew, even though we gave him the maps of the actual stuff. And he would actually hand draw all the locations himself. Because he didn't want to use the maps. So we have the living quarters of a monastery. We have the kitchen in the monastery. There's multiple copies as well. So I'm assuming he was going to give us each a copy of the people that were actually playing there. Because this is what the monastery actually looked like. And it actually came in the Ravenloft box set with... Ooh, let me open you. Oh, which one was it? That one. There it is. It came with a description of the location and what was in it, and how to actually play around the area. It's a blast from the past. Yeah, this is from the... This one here in particular is from the very early 90s. It is all about Transylvania. It's all about Frankenstein. It's all about vampires, werewolves. Ravenloft is the realm of nightmares. And my father actually sat down to fill out a proper campaign for it. This is all of his notes for it. Holy shit. God damn, he draws everything. A single-story building with a connecting hall to a large building contains 14 small sleeping cells. Each has rotting remains of sleeping cots. There are 2 larger cells with rotting sleeping bunks. There appears to have a wash bin, a well with rotten windlass, and a furnace for providing a heat source. 2 cells that are empty. No unsealed outside entry. Temperature is frigid and building unlit. In a rotted bunk is a bone scroll case. The case radiates magic. Must cast spell or ability. Windows, I think it says windlass, but he might have been doing this when he was drunk too. I have no fucking idea. Like, my dad's writing is usually very, very neat and prim and proper, like very well typed. But when he starts going to his cursive, sometimes it gets a little bit more wonky. A windlass is something you turn to pull something, like a bucket, I think. Ah, that could be it then. Sounds like it would smell disgusting. Yes. I have no idea how to say your name, but thank you. Dedicated fan to support you. Mind adding me on Discord? Not happening. It could be. I always end up playing a thief. Check traps is always first. Exactly. Jesus Christ, here's another fucking book full of stuff for him. Which one is this? The Fife of Rydor. Okay. Rydor, check, and Cora keep, huh? He has percentages here as 65% of the keep is human, 35% is demi-human. Plain facts on Gladsheim. Duff. Giannis. The role of books. The role of books is usually to teach someone something or keep them going. A $5,000 quest tournament for Silver Dam by Entertainment Concepts. From Dragon Magazines. This is all a Dragon magazine that's just, unfortunately disintegrated, I guess. I will have to sit down and actually put that in order so I can properly read that one. That one's all just in pieces. So, to go with the other Dragonlance book, Lankmar, City of Adventure. That is a Forgotten Realms? City of Lankmar? I don't know if that's... that one might not be Forgotten Realms. That might be its own private thing. But we have the Dragonlance Atlas, which tells you every single freaking place across the entire world. All in nice, pretty color and pictures on the world of Kryn. That is insane. See, like I said, it's got collectible shit. I told you all. I mentioned it. Here it is. The Ravenloft box set. It is here. I could actually do that as an actual campaign. God, instead of doing horror Minecraft, do freaking horror Dungeons and Dragons. That could be terrifyingly fun. What do we got here? Dungeon Masters, Player's Companion, Book 1, Book 2, Secrets of Bone Hill. Here we go. Middle Earth. The role-playing game you can play in... Oh my god, that is terrifying. Here you go. There's Smeagol. That looks like the tapeworm. There you go, right there. That's the tapeworm. There you go, Jesse. I hope you enjoyed that. This puts you in the world of Lord of the Rings, Tolkien's entire universe, and everything. This system was a little bit different because it was primarily all based on percentages rather than like the D20 system, which is what advanced Dungeons and Dragons rolls on, which is the D20 system. But he's looking better. Good for him. Come back. I want a screenshot. There you go. There's all yours. Looks like a zombie E.T. I could see that. He is skinny enough, probably. It's based on The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, perfect for seasoned players as well as those who have never experienced the thrill of fantasy role-playing. By Iron Crown Enterprises. When this was released in 1986, but to go with that, we have The Mines of Moria. There was actually more that my father has somewhere You can get Isengard, Mirkwood, you can get Angmar, you can get Umbar, and you can get the entire map of Middle Earth with it too. I might have to see if I can find those. Deep within the bowels of the center, misty mountain lies Moria, the black chasm. Here stood Khazad-dûm, the kingdom of the noblest lord of the 7 tribes of dwarves, a city sculpted from the rock and embellished by the finest hall builders of their day. Within its recesses, Durin's folk mined precious metals and discovered mithril, the true silver. Now its chambers are dark, and its builders are gone. Tales speak of a Balrog, a demon of might, which once served the black enemy Morgoth. Bats and wolves and deadly traps await those daring few who seek the treasure buried deep in the still, dank chambers of the Black Chasm. This one was released in 84. So this actually came out before the role-playing book. That's interesting. Dude, there's light in that. No hat. Poor old Bill. Love Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings too. Oh shit. My dad actually had some Del Toro quest in there. Oh, that's hilarious. It is City of Rats and the Maze of the Beast. That's entertaining. We just mentioned that. Bill was the pony that got eaten by the lake monster just outside Moria. I know. Bill was the pony. In the films, they send Bill away. That is some crazy stuff. That is the end of that collection. So there you guys go. That is the a partial collection of what I have. Potatoes. For some other reason that didn't play, and I have no idea why. Or maybe it did, I just didn't hear it. So, now that we've gone through my...
Potatoes.
There it went. Oh my god, you're blonde. Technically I'm orange, but yes, what's going on, Bug? It's been a while. Been a long while. He gets eaten in the weird live-action cartoon they did. I love that cartoon. I love the cartoon as well. Ginger! Yes, I am not naturally, but I am currently. It didn't, but then it did. So yeah, that was my collection of amazing Dungeons and Dragons things, at least some of them. Definitely not all by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, if I get the ability to, I will put everything up. He's purple, right? Yeah, I know you always go live when I can't watch. I'm sorry. I can't control that. I'm sorry. I mean, I tend to go live at the same time. Oh, so I did say that I would show you guys some of the Eldarrun Age of Wretchedness in case some of you are still actually interested in partaking of playing Dungeons and Dragons with me, myself, and I. Ew, is that root beer? It's diet. He'll be a chocobo by Halloween. It's very tempting. I now need to see Beagle as chocobo. Chocobo! This is Choco. He is a black chocobo. He's a good little bird. He actually is the type that you can actually have a white pen and you can actually write on him and then wash it off and then you can write on him some more. We just never did that. He's my little buddy. He guards my my dice, which if I remember, this dice came with one of the bottles of alcohol that we got. It was with the NPC dice, the Thieves Guild Master NPC bourbon. I think that one's bourbon. It's either bourbon or whiskey. I'm still interested. I was going to ask, when are we playing? He's doing a good job. Aww. When are we playing? I have no idea. It all depends if I need at least 6 people that want to do it. And if they do it, then we got to go through this player's guide so things can be understood. Do the Chocobo Beagle. I might do it. I might. I'm not going to read you guys the story of Eldarrun, but I can at least give you guys like some of the information on it. So, would you use something like a dice bot or roll d20 for playing online? If that's what was asked of me, then I probably would. Otherwise, I would give people the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to cheat. Because if I ever found out they were cheating, they'd never be allowed to play around me again. I would give people benefit of the doubt. I would actually hook it up so that I had a camera watching my dice rolls. Because I'm a DM, I don't hide my rolls unless I absolutely have to. So if you go, hey, I want to, rest in this safe spot for now, and you see me rolling dice, I'm rolling my dice out in the open. I'm not faking shit unless I absolutely have to because of XYZ circumstance. Do the Chocobo Shuffle from the original Final Fantasy VII? I mean, I maybe could. Otherwise, I'd probably do some type of roll d20 online thing, yes. Tay, you'll be taking care of your own little critter here soon. You probably won't be able to. So, here we go. This is what I've been building. This is Eldarrun, Age of Wretchedness. We have the table of contents. I don't know if you guys can actually read that or not. Bushki. The world lore is a start, commonly known information, the deities of Eldarrun, the game mechanics, the dices. The dices needed the basic purpose of them, the actions, armor class, damage, resting experience, multiclassing, the whole 9 fucking yards. Plays with sparkly dice. They're new and they don't obey me yet. That's exactly what you need. Could do a bot roller in the Discord in a D&D channel. I would watch Baby while she plays. Maybe. We shall see. I will sit down and try to figure out something for it. I haven't decided how I would do it yet. I'd honestly just want to give benefit of the doubt and trust that people would actually play legit. But that's the hard part, is you just never fully know. And then we'd have to set up a Discord call so everyone can talk to each other. And based on what people were playing, I'd see if Shy would actually draw up their characters, how they envision them to be, which could be kind of fun too. And then their PNG we would use, and it would light up and be like, ah, moving around when they were yelling or whatever. Tay will be popping this week. She will be. She'll be giving birth. Probably at least at the latest would be Sunday. Webcam stream everyone's dice rolls in a Discord call. I wouldn't want to do that because I wouldn't want to invade other people's privacy, but we'd figure out something. Let's see here. Resting, recovery, experience distribution, leveling, multiclassing. The 6 key attributes: strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. I could have added comeliness, but I really don't care about that. I believe that is more of your charisma stat anyways. The higher your charisma, the prettier you might be, even though charisma is technically how well and persuasive you are. I'm putting it all as one because it just makes it fucking easier. The races. Everyone's asked me about the races on many occasions. Here they are. We have dwarves, elves, gnomes, half-breeds, halflings, and humans. The dwarves, you have the Drugir, which is the deep, the Hylinar, which is the hill, the Kuranir, which is the mountain. Elves, you have the Drow, which is the dark, the Grenir, which is the gray, the Solari, which is the marsh, the Venisra, which is the valley, the Ilian, which is the wild, and the Sylvan, which is the wood. Gnomes, you have the Penrillan, which is your common gnome. No, it's not your garden gnome. It's kind of your garden gnome. The Snivelbliven is the hairless gnome. The little ball sack. Yeah, for your half-breeds, you have a half-elf, half-orc, half-ogre. Halflings, you have a harefoot, a stoutish, and a tall fellow. They're all halflings, but they're technically different from each other based on where they reside in the world. Harefoot primarily reside with humans or halflings themselves. Stoutish primarily reside with dwarves and gnomes, and the tall fellow primarily reside with people of elvish heritage. I always play legit. It's more funny that way. Exactly. It's always best that way. Dice will always let me down at those critical moments. My droop was called critical fail. Oh yeah, I've had plenty of that. I have already got my character design and a slight backstory already made. That's a good way to go about it. And then you adjust it as needed based on the information provided. The classes, these are the classes: the Acrobat, the Arcanist, the Assassin, the Barbarian, the Bard, the Cavalier, the Cleric, the Druid, the Fighter, the Illusionist, the Monk, the Paladin, the Ranger, the Spellwright, the Thief, and the Warlock. Your Arcanist is your typical magic user, typical wizard-like idea. Cavalier is technically your knight. A Paladin is not a knight. A Paladin is a holy warrior. A Cavalier is literally just a regular knight. You want to be a halfling? Halflings are so much fucking fun. Your water's boiling. Oh no. A Spellwright. A Spellwright is a very unique class. They're a casting class, but all of their spells are basically just buffs or minor incantation-like stuff. However, as the Spellwright increases in level, they can actually take away enchantments from opponents. So if your opponent is using an enchanted shield, they can actually pull that enchantment off the shield. That's what a Spellwright can do. An Arcanist is primarily the fireball user, and then you have your Illusionist, who's going to mess with your mental capabilities. Your Warlock is someone who has made a pact with a entity. They do not have to be an evil entity, but is an entity that is not fully known to that person. They know them by a name. They know them by an ability. They do not always know who they are exactly. I always roll like shit. Very real. Did I get anything above like a 12? When Missy would play with us, she would usually fail her regular attack 10 out of 12 times in a row. She would just fail it. Like, not critically fail, but just miss it constantly. Just be one off just every damn time. An Acrobat is similar to a Thief, but an Acrobat actually has the ability to scale walls without really worrying about things. They can walk on tight ropes a lot easier. They have the ability to basically act like the troupe you see in the Hunchback of Notre Dame when they're walking on the stilts, they're doing the crazy stuff. That's what an Acrobat does. They also have the ability to basically dodge roll away from enemy attacks, as long as there isn't another person nearby that they would roll into, which would then be a whole catastrophic entanglement, which I would enjoy so much. Druid, Cleric. Druid is a naturalist. Cleric is a healer of a divine order. A fighter is just a regular person that wants to swing their big ass sword or hammer or whatever. Monks are individuals who have given up all their precious bits and pieces in their life. They fight primarily with their fists and their body. They don't wear any forms of armor. They are basically out to just become a tank. Monks do over time become a tank. Rangers. The best way to describe a ranger is Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. That's the best way to describe it. You can track, you can shoot your bow very well, and you're damn good with a sword. It does not always mean you're going to have a pet. You are not Drizzt Do'Urden. You do not have a Black Panther as your pet all the time, all right? Get that out your damn head. You are more like Aragorn than anything. Barbarian, simple, assassin. Assassin, to technically be an assassin, you have to technically be some form of evil because your whole goal is to be paid to kill people. So you have to be some form of evil. That's the only caveat to the assassin. Some of these classes can be multi-classed with each other based on whatever you choose up here determines what you get down here. Now, let's see here. We also have a code of gallantry for the paladins because it is different than the knights. Can I have a squirrel as a pet? Yes. That sounds like my kind of luck, to be honest. Redatosker the squirrel? Technically, yes, you can get that. I actually had an ex-girlfriend of mine actually have a sable as her pet. And then someone else had an owl. Someone had a bear. In the book that I'm writing, Shy's character actually has a wolf. It is a Maldoxian Mazwolf, which is only for the world. They are, think of them like giant Arctic tundra wolves with the ability to breathe ice to basically stop your lungs from working is what they have the ability to do. The code of gallantry. You cannot lie. You cannot steal. You have to be honorable in combat. And this is what people really didn't like when I rolled this up the first time. A paladin will not attack from behind. They will only attack from the front. They have to be facing their opponent because they will not do that because that is considered unfair. They will not fight dirty. They will not use projectile weapons. They will not fake injuries. They will not... and any form of intentional distraction is prohibited. They will not use any distractions again in their fight. Small and could technically steal small items. They could if they're taught well. Yes, they could. They may willingly employ no unfair advantage. So, let's say if you are one floor above someone else, you're not going to use your lance to stab down at them because it is an unfair advantage, the height advantage. You will not do that. However, blessings, magical armaments, magical armor, and magical healing items are considered to not be advantages because they can be found or bought anywhere in the world, theoretically. So you can still have your blessings, you can still have magical spells put on you as a paladin, and it is not against your code of combat. Strategy and sneaking are different. Being strategic is assaulting an area that is well known by adversaries, but poorly guarded. Sneaking is using an unknown entrance or portal to evade. You will basically use a strategic assault. You will not sneak as a paladin. Retreat. Dying for a just cause is honorable. Dying from random creatures is not. As a paladin, you do not have to continue your fight. If it is a random fucking mountain lion, you do not have to continue fighting it. It is allowed to eat your friends. You can run away. We always saw paladins as having a rod shoved up their ass. No. So if anyone played that way, they're playing they're not playing lawful good, they're playing lawful stupid. A lawful good person will go by the rules, but they will go by the exact wording of the rules. That's why we came up with this code of chivalry, of gallantry, to provide paladins with a bit more leniency and leverage. They will not kill needlessly. Getting rid of evil is fine if it is within the laws of the land. Killing hungry and needy creatures is not always needed, unless there is a high likelihood that others will die if the creature is not slain. You do not have to go out and just slaughter everything. You cannot slander or disrespect. If it happens, it has to be resolved in combat. Prisoners. If an opponent pleads for quarter, paladins must grant it, unless the opponent is a demon, devil, or undead. They are free to kill and be gone with it. There is absolutely no way to see them to the authorities to be punished. No way means no way. If a paladin must trek across 1,000 miles of the prisoner, they will do it. If the prisoner is going to hinder the paladin from dispatching a greater evil, then the prisoner can be released at the paladin's discretion. paladins can be hilarious. Yes, they can. One of the greatest stories about a paladin was something powder keg. I think it was called like Powder Keg of Justice, where a paladin is describing to a would-be bandit that they have only one chance in their life to disobey their god and to lose everything, and that they would at this moment in time lose everything to pummel that guy's life into nothing, basically. So no murder hobo paladin. There wouldn't ever be one unless you were playing a Death Knight, which is an evil version of a paladin. Our party of murder hobos always ended up wanting to kill the paladin. I mean, if your goal is to kill the person that can literally get you out of everything, then be my guest. Because that paladin can literally go to any guard in that entire city and say, I will take them under my tutorship, my leadership, and I will right their wrongs. And then you get out scot-free. Because that's the ability of a paladin. They have great charisma. They can literally go to any lord in the land and say, I will devote 3 weeks' time to you if you give us a place to sleep for those 3 weeks. Guess what? You have a place to sleep for 3 weeks. You ain't got to pay for it. He has to go out and do the work. So the paladin's actually great to keep around. You just got to think outside the box of just killing everything. The paladin is designed to be a voice, a face. It is designed to be the one that people want to go to. Let him be the one to deal with the guards. Let him be the one to deal with the magistrates. Let him be the one to deal with the clergy. You'll get a lot of free shit that way. I'm just saying. If the opponent or prisoner has escaped before being given quarter and was treated fairly and has committed evil again, you must, and has not committed evil again, as I should say. And you must be chivalrous. You must serve your god, whatever deity it is. You must serve them above all else, because that's what a paladin does. The servitude to their god overwrites all the laws of the land. That's what this is saying. The only time everything changes is when the god personally speaks to the paladin. Fighting in the name of a city, village, or town is a just cause, and a paladin will willingly protect places that worship their god. But their god outweighs everything that any mortal person could request of them. So, if the murder hobos had to slaughter an entire village to find a particular necromancer, and all the villagers were actually under that necromancer's, power, for the greater good to get rid of the necromancer, the paladin could do it. Just saying. They have to be intelligent. Not all evil can be stopped all at one time. Pick and choose. That's how it's got to be done. Desecration and final rest. In all cases, desecrating a resting place is unacceptable. Can't do it. They would not. They will not loot that area. Other people can. They will not. They have to interaction with other faiths. They are usually tolerant of other followers of gods. They say they might be misguided, yada, 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 lost sheep. This is what gives the paladins more leniency. They don't have to be so goddamn, damn, my God's so wicked. No. In this world, they're very tolerant of each other. They may not like each other, but they're tolerant enough. They have to obey the laws when possible in whatever area they are in. And undead, unless an undead is proven to be intelligent, non-malignant, and open to freedom from the mortal plane, they should be struck down. Paladins will kill any undead character. If you want to come back as a zombie, the paladin is probably going to eradicate you. Then there's the Knight's Code. Don't care about that one as much. This is the character sheet that we have written up. You have your name of your character, your race, your class. Your hit points is your hit dice plus your constitution bonus. Your constitution bonus, if it is above 16, it will give you certain hit points additional per level every time you roll your hit points. Mental attack saves is based on your wisdom. You have a ability to obtain phantasm immunity based on your intelligence by the power of Grayskull. Your max hauling capacity, which is in gold piece weight, is how much your character can physically haul on their body without feeling fatigued. You have a chance to resist diseases and illnesses. You have a max movement rate. The max movement rate is with everything on your person. You can move X amount of tiles per round, or X amount of yardage outside, is basically how it's broke up to. You can have henchmen based on whatever class you are. Coins, you have platinum pieces, gold pieces, silver pieces, copper pieces, which is pretty typical amongst most RPGs, including Dungeons and Dragons. Weapons, you have left hand, right hand, two-handed. You have ranged weapon. Pretty simple. Very straightforward. On-person equipment and encumbrance. This is all the stuff that you will physically see on your person and how much that totally weighs. Your backpack will weigh 20, but your backpack can hold 250. So you put the shit that you want to carry in your backpack, your food, your water, your torches, whatever. Your backpack, no matter how full it gets, once it reaches that 250 marker, it is only going to weigh 20 gold piece weight, or 2 pounds, if you want to think about it that way, is approximately how it's going to weigh out based on how you have it connected to your person. So this is the character sheet that we've gone off of for the last 12 years. Just because it basically has everything very easily readable for anyone to join in. That's a big backpack. If you think about it, it's not. The backpack only holds 25 pounds. It doesn't hold a lot. A bag of holding actually holds somewhere in the realm of 30 pounds to 300 pounds, based on what style of bag of holding it is. So this was the original backpack size of a gold piece weight of 20, which is only 2 pounds in our measurement system. I would need an extra sheet. I would get 250 items. It's not 250 items. That's not how it works. The gold piece weight is how much it can hold. It's not 250 items. It's 25 pounds. It's 250 gold piece weight. That's the big difference. So unless every single thing you're nabbing is 1 gold piece weight, then yes, you could fit 250 in there. Theoretically. Let's see here. The player's guide also goes into the secondary skills. The secondary skills, these are the skills that your characters would technically have if they were not adventurers. So, we have your alchemist, you're making potions. You have a skill called ambush, where you have a bonus to attacks. You have animal husbandry, which allows you to take care of the breeding intricacies of different animals. How much does a toaster weigh? Yeah, a toaster would be 2 big chunks of metal that would go over a little fire spot. So, I don't know, a couple pounds probably. Is there a spot where we can find that stuff in the Discord yet? There is not. There is not. Not until it is all fully fleshed out and ready to go. I will not put it up there. But it will one day. My youngest just woke up. Not really woke up. I think he's just coughing. Are you good, dude? Okay, he's back down again. I think he's good. Suggesting, probably not suggesting. No, it's probably a fairly reasonable guess. It's that season. It is that season right now. we're all going through it a little bit. Just think we might get hungry. I mean, there's other ways for food. I mean, there are spells that just conjure food too, by the way. Armorer. It's similar to like running a smithy. You know how to work with armors and whatnot. Or protection. This can be used as any person. You basically create a tattoo on your body to give you protection against enemies and magical whatnots. Barterer is just dealing with trade. Blade dancing is an ability if you're going to use swords. It increases your ability to do damage and to hit with them, and increases your armor class, I believe, as well over time. Blind fighting, you can fight without actually being able to see your opponent. It's a great little ability. You can be a bower, a cabinet maker, a carpenter, a contortionist, because that's always fun to be able to just be super flexible and, you know, squeeze your way out of everything. Dual wielding is technically a feat. Farmer, fisher. I think Shy is going in there to look at him now. Yeah, she's taking him out of the room. See, we watch constantly. Just keep making toast and everything will be fine. Right, exactly. I will be back, because now one of our other kids has just gotten up. So, I'll be right back. Your Alexa thought I was talking to it? That's fucking weird. That is very, very strange. Go ahead and check that. Yeah, he's Shy's holding him right now. He is coughing a little bit, but she's trying to calm him down, and maybe he'll just sleep in our bed for the night. I love my new toaster and blender in Minecraft. I'm making more sushi and fancy dishes next time. Making me a need snack. See, where was I? All the different, there's a crap ton of different, not sure why that is, bolded, but it is. There's a crap ton of different secondary skills just to make sure that every single character, every single, entity in the world is different. So not only will your race and your class make a huge difference in what you do, what you choose as your secondary skill will also make you different from the people around you as well. Munchie have a nightmare? He might have had a little bit of a nightmare, yeah. And we have had sore throats. The school actually sent a letter home talking about foot and mouth going around right now, so you just never fully know. I have a cat at the door to let in before it drives me nuts. Yeah, he's with Mama in bed, so I don't hear him sniffling or crying no more, so I think we're all right. Let's see. Some of the world lore that I got for Eldarrun. 800 years ago was a dark time in Eldarrun history. The gods, which guided, protected, and ultimately bore the world, vanished. It was the night of falling stars when their physical bodies were sacrificed to stop and encage a being known as the Scourge of Eldarrun. Since that fateful day, the world has known peace from the hordes of the soulless and merciless undead. The Scourge brought forth a force that intended to destroy the world in its entirety. However, even a being as diabolical and devastating as itself was no match for the cunning of the 5 divine beings. They forced all under the leadership of the Scourge into and beyond the boundary, the wall between the living and the dead. Then the 5 divine made the harsh decision to lock the boundary by offering up their bodies as a catalyst to keep all the damned from ever venturing the lands of the living again. Mama makes everything better. She does. She's a damn good mom. A damn good mama. I'm just the thing that'll throttle anyone that gets close to them. The sacrifice forced the lands to shake and shudder. Oceans filled with massive crags, earthquakes built spires of stone that tickled the clouds, and the flames of oblivion scorched the earth so new life would flourish. The world as we know it was made by the gods' sacrifice, and yet that is all forgotten. The night of fallen stars became the age of convalescence, or recovery. The world did well without major wars, famine, or the threat of the undead. However, even that couldn't last. Ooh, I think that smoke smell's starting to get to my throat. Oof. The current time is the age of serenity, for peace is ever prevalent for only the most devoted. Devoted to power, coin, or the Rawls is the only way to have peace. Eldarrun is primarily run by a small group of people called Rawls. Unlike in the past when it was the divine clergy, those empowered by the 5 divine. The divine clergy still exist, but their influence and actual divine powers have waned greatly in various areas of Eldarrun. The Rawls are considered more powerful than any king, thane, or noble. They were at one time the truest representation of all Eldarrun. Each Rawl was a different race to help ensure that all had a fair voice in the decision and lawmaking of the world. That has changed over the last few decades, and many claim that this is the age of wretchedness. Hence where the game starts. And then there's a little bit of information about the Rawls. Commonly known information is about the divine powers and boons. They're very rare, so clerics aren't very common in the world. Having a proper cleric that can heal is very unique. The mages, the arcanist, the spellwright, and the illusionist are technically called magisters, or they're called the Tari, of which there are 3 different types. Because each group of them follow a different celestial body, which is Luna, Mara, and Nuna. Luna is the azure moon, which radiates a pale blue hue, which is said to put even the craziest minds at ease. Mara has a silver glow. It can almost always be seen because its radiance pushes through even the densest of clouds. Nuna is what brightens the world when the moons have set, a radiant ball of light with the power to blind night creatures, and is often referred to as the sun. Oh. I know, it's very, very unique, right? Different magisters, different Tari will follow the Luna, the Mara, or the Nuna, and their understanding of them is different as well. So if you want to go a magic route, that's something you have to actually sit down and look into. Slavery. This is a topic people didn't like before, but it is very common and it hasn't disappeared. Slavery, though rarely mentioned, can be witnessed. There have been plenty of times when the nobles have started slavery wars to obtain power in various regions. Families and lineages have been completely wiped from the records of history. This has become a strange deterrent and a great show of power to keep many usurpers from rising. It is speculated that slavers and the enslaved share a brand to solidify their bond. So you could technically make a character that was a slave to a particular person of a particular city, and it would be completely within the realm of possibility. The deities of Eldarrun. As the story goes, the 5 divine gave up their physical bodies to seal away the scourge and the undead horde. Scriptures from long ago state what the gods looked like before they became formless, and our clergy of today tell stories of their power and recite the edict of each. Many minor temples or chapels tend to honor one single deity over the others, but all are allowed to be prayed to, even though prayer isn't heard much beyond the clergymen themselves. The devoted often assist all seekers of grace with gracious arms. However, the tithe for such assistance is considered beyond the reach of the truly needy. Got it. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria are all important. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Christopher Columbus. Ashbur, the guardian of dwellers. Born from molten rock and gemstones, Ashbur is the god of the depths of Eldarrun. His ever-burning and flowing form is what forced the mountains to hold back the hordes of abominations. He has a chestplate made of basalt adorned with sapphires, rubies, and emeralds. Ashbur has a flowing beard of magma which is cinched with a giant gold bracelet that has a diamond socketed into it. He holds a giant mithril 2-headed axe named Maldox. Its glowing runes down the shaft spell out its name. It blazes a brilliant azure against Ashbur's yellow, red, and orange-hued flesh. Basically, Ashbur is a god of the Dwarven Kingdom. He governs discovery, exploration, family kinship, mining, and strength. He is actually not my favorite god, though. The favorite god I actually don't have listed here, which really sucks. But he can't be listed, which sucks, because it's part of the lore. If any of this is bothering you guys or making you bored, please tell me. Because I know, like, listening to me rattle on and just prattle is really annoying to a lot of people. Or if you've all fallen asleep, you should tell me that too somehow. Or if any of this is interesting you and you're actually like, yes, 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 want to do it. Want to play, not do weird shit. Let me know as well. No, I'm soaking it in. I'm cool. Tay's still awake. Those are all good signs. I don't sleep. I'm awake. Capsin is the mistress of the sea. She governs disasters, fishing, rage, seafaring, war, and weather. Suddenly everyone wakes up, right? I'm not enjoying it. I definitely want to play. They all wake up because I told them to. On TikTok, but I'm awake. Oh, that makes me feel better. Capsin is a being of pure, unrivaled fury made of coral, ocean waters, and raging torrents of power. Her body is a myriad of corals with the general appearance of a mermaid. Goddess of the seas, Capsin is a fickle god who will unleash the wrath of water upon anyone. Hair of kelp gently flows and floats with the rhythm of the tide. Small fish and crustaceans swim near, inside, and around her presence. The scales upon her tail have shimmering waves of pearl white. Capsin holds an amethyst trident that forces the skies to do her bidding, along with raising and lowering of the waters as she wishes. I might fall asleep. I'm tired, but I'm not bored. I definitely want to play and I'm enjoying it. I am really glad you guys are. God of the Sea is spicy. Got it. Yes. Slyn, the Earthen Mother. She governs harvest, fauna, fertility, flora, safe passage, and sanctuary. The embodiment of the earth, she is a being with bark for skin. Water cascades down her body like hair. Rocks and boulders bless her shoulders. Covered in all sorts of flora from head to toe with eyes of ancient galaxies, Slyn wields a hammer formed from the stump of the last ashenwood tree. Platinum bark with streaks and rings of amethyst. Her massive form is feared and revered, for sanctuary rests within her embrace. When Shai drew Slyn, it was amazing, and I really want to find the drawing that she made of her because it was fucking fantastic. Till is the enchantress. She governs alcohol, assassination, jubilee, lust, pleasure, and torture. Sultry, sensual, and seductive, Till ensnares all in her grasp. A goddess of music, wine, pleasure, and beastly activities. Till is a centaur-ish creature with locks of golden hair covering her most private parts barely. Her skin is pale without blemishes, and her hide is a mix of gold spots across a silver background. She bears a smile that will melt the hearts of men and women alike. However, she sports a wicked and devilish black viper for a tail. Known for stealing love and killing to keep it, Till represents all the wondrous and awful aspects of love. Her weapon of choice is her voice and her backbiting tail. Finally, Volcanus, the father of magic. He governs the arcane mysterium, knowledge, passage of time, solitude, tranquility, and wisdom. An elder of a forgotten time, a being of magic who forged the laws of the arcane while simultaneously breaking them, to allow every being the chance to utilize his gift. Sinewy and far past the age of a normal being, his beard is wrapped gingerly around his arm and gem-encrusted staff, which bears a globe in the purest rose-colored glass, resting within a dragon's taloned grasp. White hair with streaks of blue, yellow, and red hues hinting at his arcane prowess. He has a light blue swirl tattooed upon his brow with eyes like an endless abyss. His lower torso is nothing more than a wisp or culmination of fog and clouds. So those are the deities that are in my world. Ashbur, Capsin, Slyn, Till, and Volcanus. There is one more, but that individual is full of lore dump. So, cannot be spoken about right now. Sorry. Thoughts on the gods. I actually have much deeper descriptions. They're like full page descriptions, but those are actually all handwritten, and I don't have them available to me at this moment in time. They are actually in my binder upstairs in the back room. And they have their symbols are actually drawn out and colored in because I'm weird like that, like my dad is. Do you guys really want a last one? Making me be patient. How dare you? I love it. The last god's name is Lazarin. Lazarin is a god of the dead and the damned. The lost and forgotten. Very imaginative. Not supposed to be imaginative. At least not all the time. The way he is more imaginative than what he is for. Because what he is for is what you are told. What he is vastly different. Keep that into mind. What you are told he is for is vastly different than what he is. I thought my nose was bleeding for a second. Game mechanics, it's basically a 20 die, a D20 system. It's going to be very simplistic. Your D20 is basically going to control your saving throws, your attack rolls, your skill checks. It's all going to be done with the D20. The basic way to describe a skill check is, let's say you have a strength of 16 and you want to grapple your nearby buddy because they're being a dick at the bar and you want to take them down to the ground to beat their ass or something. I say, roll a strength check. You roll a D20. Your goal is to get a 16 or lower, but not a 1. A 1 is an automatic fumble no matter what you do. So you never want to get the 1. And when you do a skill check, you want to get your skill value or below. So if you were to roll and you say you scored a 14, you tackle your buddy. You rolled an 18, which you think would be amazing, but that means you fucked up somehow, and now you are on your back with him on top of you type of ordeal, right? Because your skill level is not an 18, your skill level is only a 16. That's how that plays out. And that's why a D20 system is very simplistic and very easy to understand in that regard. You have the D12 dice. They cover spell effects primarily and different types of weapon damage. D10s are your percentile dice, which will be used when it comes to your critical rolls, your fumbles, yada yada. No comment. Natural fumble. A natural fumble is a 1. All the time, no matter what you do. Are you saying that the D20 idea is too complicated? Because your idea would be that you rolled high, so you should be fine, correct? But you're rolling beyond your own strength attribute. That's what the stopping point is. Your strength attribute would be a 16. You'd want to score that 16 or less, but not a 1. Which would still give you, what's the percentage? Around 80% chance of success. Which is still really freaking high. And the way the dice rolls are for creating your character, which is 66, you have a very high chance of actually scoring above a 15 almost all the time anyways. So you shouldn't have any real problems with succeeding on all of your checks. Odds are you would only, if you scored on average around a 16 or a 17, you would only have 4 numbers that would really screw you over. So if your stat is a 16, you have a 17, 18, 19, a 20, and a 1. So you have 5 numbers that would fuck you over. Although 20s are usually a natural crit. So you do something usually quite amazing if you score that. Hello, Sway. Actions, it's on the D20 roll. Your percentages, what happens with a failure is often determined by the DM, where success produces the desired outcome for the player character. As long as you sit down and you tell the DM what you're planning on doing, that's usually what a success is. Movement on and off the battlefield. If playing with battle mats or graphed fields with miniatures determining how far the character can move is simple. Make each space 5 feet, or what would be like fucking 3 meters or whatever. For all characters, have a movement rate, or it'll be 2 meters. That is in increments of 5 feet. It is assumed that most precise movement will be done during combat. Example, halflings can move 20 feet per segment or 40 feet per round in combat. A round is 2 segments. A segment is 30 seconds. A round is 1 minute, if you're thinking about time, which makes it very simplistic to keep your things going. Because if you're fighting someone, you're usually fighting for several minutes at a time, and you're wearing yourselves out every 30 seconds. That's why most boxing matches don't last more than a couple minutes. Or most MMA fights are done usually in under 10 minutes, because you're wearing yourself out so quick. Yep. So 1 segment is 30 seconds. 2 segments is 60 seconds, which equals 1 round or 1 minute. 60 segments is 1800 seconds, which equals 30 rounds or 30 minutes. 120 segments is 3600 seconds, which equals 60 rounds, 60 minutes, and or 1 turn, which equals 1 hour. It is all written out, and for the most part, you guys never have to remember any of that shit. That's basically all in the Dungeon Master. Everybody needs a hobby. Oh, shut up. Designing things is my hobby. Saving throws, combat rolls, and rules. It's all pretty simple. You use whatever your damage is. A dagger can cause 1d4 damage. You use a d4 dice. That's it. It's not hard. Whatever your damage is, use the right dice for it. Good. I'm already going to need notes. When I get this all finished and stuff, I will definitely make sure that everyone gets to have their own fucking copy. Just do not edit the copy. Print it off and write all your notes for yourself. Armor class and damage. We're going with a different armor class system compared to what new Dungeons & Dragons is, and a lot of people have told me they disagree with this system. But after they play with this system, like, oh my gosh, that's actually much simpler to keep track of. I'm like, yes, it is. Armor class is in a range from -10 to +10. -10 being easy to strike and 10 being extremely difficult. So you want to go from the negative into the positive. That's all you want to do. Okay? You're not having a armor class of 375, right, with all your weird magical bonuses. No. That's not how it works. The armor class bonuses are only in single digit increments. So a scale from -10 to +10 is actually more beneficial and easier to calculate. Takes way less time. If you edit, I send a Karen. Oh, hopefully they punch the cop again. To understand how it goes, a -10 is like standing still and you're completely unaware while being attacked. And a +10 is like being completely prepared and fortified to the utmost. I've already lost. I'm still trying to figure out how to work a doorknob. Usually you pull down or twist. Sometimes you click and push or pull. The doorknobs, it all depends on which style it is. We can do it, I promise. And I'm always open for questions, so if you guys have any questions, fucking ask them. If anything is confusing, ask them. I have to know if this confuses people, because then I either have to change it or sit down and explain it better. I'm going through it relatively fast, so But this is the exact system I've taught people for about 15 years, and most people never had any issues with it. After they tried it. Before they tried it, they had questions, but after they actually got into it, it was quite simple. I don't have room for a Karen. I can't take that risk. Or a Kevin. Maybe a Kyle. Let's see here. Resting will not stop your poisoning. You will constant blood loss. It will not heal lost limbs or reduce any form of disease that characters obtain during their adventure. A simple rest will only bring back a little bit of health. It will not cure all your ailments. You will need a paladin. You will need a cleric. You will need someone to save you. Always seem to run to them hashtag magnets. There you go. God, I love being a Karen magnet. Let's see here. There's natural recovery options for various ailments that you or any character can encounter. If they suffer constant blood loss, health below 0, they will fall unconscious and will need to be bandaged. After they are bandaged, they will need to be rest. They will need to have rest or be healed via another means to regain consciousness again. It's all good, man. Are you sure? You sure it's all good? Are you understanding it? If not, I need to know, like, I'm being serious. If they are not bandaged or healed, and their blood loss continues, they will continue to lose health until death, which is at negative 10 hit points. So you have whatever your hit points are, which would be like if you have 30 hit points, you can take up to 40 total points of damage to your actual physical body before you will die. That's how the game is designed, to give leniency and leeway to actually be saved. No, you're not confused, or no, you are confused and need help. I'm assuming that is no, you're not confused. But like I said, if anyone is confused, you have to let me know. Because I honestly need to know to get this stuff working properly for others. Especially if the end goal would be to ever market it in any way, shape, or form. You know what would be crazy? Is if I actually got... No, I'm confused. Okay. At what part? I will help. If I actually got Stone Rock and J-Card to be a part of it, I'll make them like fucking NPCs just roaming around randomly. They'll be NPCs that travel. I'll figure it out. It's better if I read it in full. Probably. I am skipping little bits just to kind of cover generalized ideas. I guess, is there any sections like you guys want to know yourselves? Like what piques you guys? You guys have heard about the races, you've heard about the classes, you've heard about the gods for the world. This is just the 6 key attributes. You have your strength, your constitution, what each one governs. Your strength governs your to hit bonus, your damage bonus, and your max carrying capacity. It also tells what class primarily uses strength as their attribute, which would be the barbarian, the cavalier, the fighter, and the paladin. So if you want to be one of those classes, you should definitely be rocking high strength. I think I'm following you pretty well, even with you going quick. That's always a good thing. I like that. Constitution is not governed by any classes because everyone needs to have proper hit points. This where it says here, it says HP per level. What that means is no matter what level you become, you will roll your hit dice based on your class. So if you are a fighter, you have a 10-sided hit dice. You roll your 10-sided dice. Let's say it scores a 10. Then you go into your constitution stat. Your constitution, let's say, is a 16. You get a +3. That means you add an additional 3 hit points to your total. So then you go from 10 to 13. And then every time you level up, you'll automatically get 3 hit points guaranteed no matter what you roll. So that's how your constitution works. It also provides you with natural resistance to poisons, and if you're trying to be revived after dying, how great the survival of that is. If you have a low constitution, your survival rate is pretty much non-existent. If you have a high constitution, your survival rate is almost guaranteed. So constitution is very important. If you don't have constitution, you will not survive, no matter what class you play. Dexterity is always very important for individuals that are going to be fighting by themselves or using long-range weapons primarily, which would be your acrobat, your assassin, your ranger, and your thief. Their primary attribute is dexterity, which gives you a bonus to hit when using ranged weapons. Oh shit. A bonus to your armor class because you are more able to dodge attacks. You're able to roll with the punches, perhaps. So it does affect your armor as well. And when you're fighting by yourself, it affects your initiative. Only when fighting by yourself does it affect your initiative. It does not affect it any other way. The way I play Dungeons & Dragons, I have it set up where either the party goes first or the enemies go first. It's not individual because that takes way too long to keep track of on a consistent basis. So you roll every single time for initiative, and it's either the party or the monsters. That makes it go nice and fast, especially when it comes to combat if you're missing a shit ton. So, intelligence, that's going to be your spell casters, which is your arcanist, your illusionist, your spellwright, and your warlock. It governs how many languages your character can have. You have more than just your racial languages. So if you're a dwarf, you automatically get dwarvish, you get gnomish, you get common, you get goblin, you get kobold, I think you get orcish. But then if you have a high enough intelligence, you can get more languages to put on top of that. So you could actually speak to elves, or you could speak to halflings, you could speak to you could speak to puppies, for God's sakes, if you wanted to. You could speak to toast. There might be a toast language now, because apparently Calandra must have toast. So maybe I'll make a toast creature. Or you could speak to mushroom people. You could choose a particular language that you have learned. I see what you mean. That would be way too complicated. There are a lot of things that can make it way more complicated. I actually sat through and have worked on this for a number of years, trying to make it as simplistic as possible, only keeping to single-digit numbers as much as humanly possible. And making sure that everything is spelled out as easily as I can manage it. Because modern day Dungeons & Dragons seems to add too much or takes away too little to make it of any real relevance. So either they're adding way too much, which is convoluting everything, or they're taking away too little to make a difference. Toast only with peanut butter. Peanut butter toast is the greatest thing I've ever discovered. Peanut butter toast with a bit of cinnamon and a little bit of sugar. Yes. Or you get a tortilla and you warm the tortilla up and you put peanut butter on that and then cinnamon, sugar, and then you roll it up. It is an amazing little treat. It's very sticky, especially if you add a little bit of honey with it. Your charisma will determine your number of retainers. Your number of retainers is your henchmen. People that'll help be alongside you. Your wisdom is your mental capacity to protect yourself from spells, which is the cleric, the druid, and the monk. Best invention ever is the peanut butter. I kind of agree with that. The races get very in-depth. If you guys want me to go through those, I will. That is up to you. There is quite a number of them. I think there's like 16 total races. But like I said, eventually this will be released to everyone so you guys can all go through it and pick it apart and discover what is best for you. And hopefully everyone will come to the conclusion that, hey, this isn't so bad, or hey, you need to do tweaks here. And if that's the case, I will fucking do tweaks. because I know some things might really confuse people, but I tried to make it as straightforward and available as possible. You like the layout I chose? I appreciate that. I tried to make it as pretty as I could as well, and making it all the information that is right here that you're seeing right now is information that you actually should have on your character sheet. And it's information that, unlike in a lot of the newer stuff and even some of the older stuff, you would actually have to go through and search inside paragraphs of information to find this stuff. I said, fuck that. We're going to put it all right here. It's the list of common traits is all stuff you should understand because it's all bonuses or negatives to your character. It should all be readily available and easy to read. It shouldn't be lost in paragraphs of information. The paragraph of the dwarf is very short, straightforward, kind of like them in a weird way. The dwarves, they're strong, stout, stubborn, and normally sloshed. Dwarves are considered one of the best allies on and off the battlefield. They come in 3 slightly different variations: the deep, the hill, the mountain, and the mountain. In the dwarvish tongue, they are the Drugir, the Hylanir, and the Kurunir. The hill and the mountain dwarves tend to be quite friendly with one another, even though they live very differently. The deep are often despised by the others all over a war known only to the dwarves as the Bloody Brothers War. This war has lasted generations and continues deep within the Ashbur Mountains beneath Thorbadun. See, it's very simplistic. You have a brief history of what the dwarves have gone through. They still have a deep loathing for each other. There's a great war that's been going on for ages. Cool. Now you get to see what languages they speak, what their max stats can be, and what classes they can possibly partake in. It's all very simple information that's easy to find. At least that's how I tried to make it. And this list right here, this common traits shared by all dwarves, every single dwarf that you ever encounter will have all of these abilities. So you don't ever have to question it. Like if someone is missing their constitution bonus and they know another dwarf has it, yeah, it's a thing. You can put it on your character sheet because another dwarf has it. It's a natural thing. And then each of the dwarves themselves, the deep, the hill, and the mountain, are slightly different than each other. They have slightly different bonuses than each other. They're slightly slightly unique. To the untrained eye, you would never fucking know the difference. But they do. And that's what matters. The dwarves themselves know the differences between themselves. Even if the humans or the halflings wouldn't, the dwarves do. The same thing as with the elves. The elves know the differences between them. Even if they look relatively close. Honestly, this is how I prefer directions or rules to be laid out. As straightforward as possible. Which is what I'm trying to do. I didn't want to confuse people at all, because if I pick up any of these books and you flip to a page, I will read you what this paragraph says, and it actually has 3 abilities in the paragraph. A sparse plant with a large root. That plant is grown for the root. It is crushed and pressed to release its clear, thick juice. I should have picked a way different paragraph. 1/2 ounce of the juice taken orally induces euphoria. Fucking Christ. I should have chose anything else. Mild illusions and sense of enhancement within 2 to 12 melees. The effect lasts for 1 to 6 hours. It is known to be mildly addictive. It is found in low-lying marshy areas in the Eastern Territory. of the Timuru Kingdom and the Land of the South Winds. Effects: -3 on initiative, -1 on parry and dodge. It deadens reaction time. Addicts suffer these penalties at all times and are very laid back and easygoing. What the fuck? Oh my god, it's called Quiff. It's called Quiff. It's called Quiff. Quiff, and it's labeled as Happy Juice. So yeah, it's a paragraph with various things that happen in said paragraph that you would have to remember or write down. Shut up, mouse. I tried to avoid doing that. I tried to just have all the stats right there for you guys to read as you need it, with a little bit of lore above it. You filthy boy. I read it from the book. I picked a random page. I don't even know if I can find that page again either. No, I gotta be past it already. I'm past it somehow. What the fuck is Quiff? I don't know. That was weird. Just picked a random page and it was a fucking Happy Juice that's talking about euphoria and being white and thick. Talk about getting sticky. The Isle of Yoda. It literally says the Isle of Yoda, of Yoda. I don't like that book no more. 50% with that. Awesome. So yes, when you're reading those books, they try to have all the information in the paragraphs. That was not the right paragraph I should have read, though, apparently. And the Isle of Little Green Men. It had a woman on it, but it was called Yoda. That guy is everywhere, apparently. I mean, Quiff, it could have been worse. It could have been Quim. I mean, it could have been Quaff or Queef. It'd be really bad if it was actually pronounced Queef instead of Quiff. Anywho, let's read on, shall we? The deep dwarves are claimed by most to be the evil dwarves. Jesus Christ, even I couldn't read that. For in the past, they made alliances with a vast assortment of villainous monstrosities beneath the mountain, considered the most persistent and perhaps most determined of the dwarves, for they continue to make raids on both the Hylinar and the Kurunir. It is suspected that the Drugir also have the greatest population, since they supposedly have daily skirmishes with the Kurunir in the labyrinth of tunnels beneath Thorbedun. Very skilled in the ways of espionage, trickery, and guerrilla warfare, the Drugir are fearsome foes in tight corridors. Skin of gray, gaunt bodies, unkempt beards, and deep soot-colored eyes. Their hair tends to be various shades of black or gray. Really? No comment. No comment. Not at all. The Hylinar. The most common of the dwarves stick to the hills surrounding the Ashbur Mountains. Common folk encounter hill dwarves in local smithies or cities. Unlike the others, the Hylinar are more willing to live alongside surface races, so long as they are free to live happily. During the wars between the dwarves, the Hylinar clans were used as messengers and saboteurs, since they could easily traverse the surface and reach a multitude of cave entrances. They have brown to tan skin, chest-length blonde beards, and their eye color seems to be almost limitless. Well, I can comment, but I'd get kicked. Probably not, no. I probably wouldn't kick you. I'm just saying, I pronounce it as... I sent you the meaning of that word in a DM, by the way. Which word? Your quim? If you're referencing the other one I mentioned, I already know what that is. I'm well aware. That's why I call it a quiff. I'm hoping that's how it's pronounced. Because if it is not, whoever wrote that book is very bad. Because it was not this guy. I didn't write that one. I'm merely saying, okay, that I would hope it's pronounced quiff. Don't come after me. I mean, you could, but it's not going to bother me in the slightest. I know about lady front bottom farts. Yes. I wouldn't have said it that way, but yes. Oh, lordy, lordy. Right, the Coudernir reside almost strictly in Thorbay-Dune, but do have small clans across the Ashbur Mountains. They are the most devoted to Ashbur in all Eldarrun. Unlike the Hylinar, these dwarves place themselves on the front lines against the Drow, the Drugir, and the deepest recesses of the mountain. They live with a deep respect for law, order, hierarchy, caste, and honor. Every movement done by a Coudernir is supposed to have a purpose. Paler skin than the Hylinar, hair of copper, and eyes of blue are claimed to be the most beautiful of the dwarves. Bro was wheezing. I definitely wheeze. I'm like Wheezy Jefferson. The way he just kept going. I can avoid it. I can move forward with stuff. Here we go. The race that everyone loves, the elves. You guys ready to hear about the elves? Is everyone excited for elves? People love elves, right? It's a good way to avoid the seafaring book and the the plant that oozes white, thick liquid. Across Eldarrun are elves, lithe, beautiful, and pointy-eared. They live in various areas. Some live beside other races, while others hold on to their separatist ways. There are in total 6 different families of elves. In common speak, they are dark, gray, marsh, valley, wild, and wood. They share similar characteristics: slender, fair-skinned, and unable to grow facial hair. Islands, forests, swamps, valleys, plains, hills, and in almost every major city will have elves of some sort. Elves tend to be a holier-than-thou mentality, and have been seen criticizing the other denizens of Eldarrun. Masters of their element, long-lived and wise beyond measure, elves are worthy companions. Elves rock. Yes, give me dirt on the elves. There's quite a number of them. I'm going to guess the right of the book was very, lonely. Is that the word? Possibly. I can't believe I actually opened up to that, too. I really want to find it and show you now to prove I wasn't lying about it. I don't even know what fucking page it was on. I just opened up a damn page. But I remember what was on that image. Or on that page. Here we go. God, I found that way too easy. So it's in the herblore section. It's under hallucinogens. Its proper name is Delquiff. Hang on. Hang on. Delquiff. It is right there by the satyr's ass. Delquiff. It literally states, a sparse plant with a large root. The plant is grown for the root. It is crushed and pressed to release its clear, thick juice. 1/2 ounce of the juice taken orally induces euphoria, mild illusions, and a sense of enhancement within 2 to 12 melees. It is on page 50 of this book. I'm reading slightly down to a different one called Melina or Nirvana or Deathjoy or Bliss. Needs to have an index in alphabetical order. Delquiff? Yes. Delquiff. That's exactly how it's spelled. I don't know why someone would do that. Squeeze that juice. No, ma'am. The other one talks about a white powder that makes you feel all sorts of things. Someone was very lonely and wanted to get really high. Oh shit, Cal is drowning. Shit, Mayo's drowning. You guys are drowning in the quiff. You guys are drowning in that thick liquid, man. I hope y'all are breathing at home. I can see Mayo just like losing her shit right now because she's not typing anything. I really got to make the drowning in the sticky shirts. I got to get that merch. Oh my god. Really lonely. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. I mean, my dad did have the Kama Sutra at one point in time, so maybe my father wanted to found that book and went, yes. My dad is a weird man. I'm not getting into that stuff with anyone right now. Oh god. But I will leave you with one image. One image of my father that he does to this day. I don't know why. My father enjoys wearing, as a almost 60-year-old man, he enjoys wearing pink banana hammocks. Right, moving on. So we have the Drow. Elves like the Drugir inhabitat and global perception are not liked. They're often titled the evil elves, for they are well known for enslaving and torturing other races. Drow have a matriarchal society that holds, get on my face here, female clerics and spellcasters in the highest regard. Males are often only warriors, I'm not looking right now, or used in diplomatic espionage. They live in cities far beneath the surface that span vast distances in hand-hewn caverns, known to be aggressive towards anyone that isn't a dweller race. They are feared and often hated by other elves. Onyx black skin, hair of silver, and eyes of crimson. What book is hidden in the back of the secret D&D book? You don't want to know. He wears them specifically pink, just pink. Yep. 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 I don't know why. I know they're very thin band on the sides. Don't drink and laugh at the same time. No, don't do that. Bad juju. There you guys know. The more you know. My dad's a freak. The Grey Elves are a very rare type of elf. They are often locked away in one of the 3 magical academies, the Emerald Citadel, the Janiseth Tower, and Sapphire's Spire, studying the mystical ways of magic. Grineer are also the longest-lived elves, since they rarely venture beyond their academies. However, their prowess in arcane, alteration, beguiling, divine, naturalistic, phantasm, and shadow magic is astounding, to say the least. Feared by any without knowledge or protection from magic, the Grineer are considered the most powerful magic wielders. Grey elves have silver to golden hair with ashen-hued skin, and have amber to violet-colored eyes. Most dads are. That's why we love them. Yeah, I love my old man, but goddamn, I really don't like visiting some days. I don't like seeing the pink on his hip. But I love him. He's just really kooky. I mean, I have told y'all that he does have a porta potty, right? Like, he has a robin egg blue toilet strapped to a lawnmower deck, and now he's put a little Santa inside said toilet. So now Santa's always watching the cars go by from the porta potty at the edge of my dad's driveway. I don't know what's more terrifying, the fact that he had a toilet and strapped it to a lawnmower deck, like a push mower lawnmower deck, or the fact that he found a Santa Claus that would fit inside the toilet to stand there and watch everything. Yeah, my dad is redneck. My dad is way more redneck than I will ever be. Now that's lawn decor. That's something. He's got more vehicles that don't run in his yard that those that do. He bought a tractor just to move the vehicles in his yard that don't run to other parts of his yard. That's what he used the tractor for originally. Now he's like, I'm going to use this to haul wood too. Yep. I'm not even kidding. I will take a picture of my father's porta potty. I will put it up in the Discord so people can see it. He literally has a robin egg blue toilet strapped to a red lawnmower deck with a little Santa Claus inside of it. Just watching the cars pass. He finds it hilarious. Still stands. Everyone needs a hobby. Everyone does need a hobby. You're correct. Everyone needs a hobby. The Marsh Elves. What is where Bumblebee is hiding? What? That is where Bumblebee is hiding. Bumblebee decided to become a porta potty. I know you aren't. I have a deer ass. Don't ask questions. It's fine. That's not that bad. My father, when we got the property originally from my aunt, my great aunt and her husband, there were things hanging up in the garage. Okay. I guess I'm going to go back to the other scene and do story time with y'all. These taxidermied animals are still hanging in my father's garage. And we got this place when I was 8. I'm 35. One of these taxidermied things is starting to basically tear apart. We can't tell if it's a coyote, a gray wolf, or a fox. We know it's some form of canine-ish like creature. The other one looks like a fucking hyena. Now, we know that my great uncle never went to Africa. So we've had people from all around try to tell us what this creature actually is. Some people have said it is a wild boar. Okay, there's none here in this state, so he would have had to kill that outside of state. Over the years, no one has figured out what this damn creature's head is. I swear it's a hyena. My father thinks it's a boar. One of my friends thinks it might have been a wild dog. It has bent ears. It has little tuskies. Massive canines. The flesh is slowly like pulling away and you can see all the teeth. It is terrifying as fuck. My dad wants to keep it. He just wants to keep it. It's fucking creepy as shit. It's one of those woodland creatures you got sneaking around your forest. It could be. Javelina. See, that reference I don't know. And that was just shitty taxidermy. It was, I think he did it himself, honestly. Which wouldn't surprise me. My great uncle was, he was kind of crazy. Sounds like a wild boar. It could be a wild boar, but he would have had to get that down south. But it doesn't look like it has a snout. Like, it doesn't look like it has a pig snout. It looks like a muzzle. And when you watch documentaries about Africa and they have the hyenas, it looks like a fucking hyena. It looks like someone took off the head of a fucking hyena and mounted it to a piece of wood. Javelina looks like a small pig, but hairy like a dog. That could be it. I need to see it now. I will take a picture of it tomorrow. I will wander over to my father's and grab pictures of this stuff he just has in his home. My dad is weird. Straight up and flat out. Crazy as shit. He doesn't even sleep in a bed anymore. He sleeps on his floor or a recliner. He will not sleep in his own bed. Granted, he's got a very good reason why he doesn't ever want to anymore. But even when his ex was alive, he still didn't sleep in bed. She slept in the bed. He would still sleep on the floor. My stepdad is a hunter, so he probably would know. We've been trying to figure it out for almost 20 years. We have no idea. Not a single fucking clue. Other than it's a wild dog, it's a boar, it's a fucking hyena. And as for the coyote, gray wolf, gray fox thing, we don't know. Your dad is Gibbs. My dad is just weird. He didn't hunt it. My dad's not a great hunter. He's not even a good, he can't even fish. He can do everything else though. He can completely rebuild a transmission completely hammered and not kill himself and put it into a vehicle. He did that on 2 different occasions. I have no idea how. He took the transmission out, tore it apart, rebuilt it, put it back in. Did not kill himself somehow doing it. I've never figured it out yet. He didn't even remember doing it. Because he went out to the garage that morning, goes, shit, it's already done. I must have done it last night. My dad works in mysterious ways. It takes a lot of talent to put the transmission in and take it out by yourself completely while being probably like 10 or 12 sheets to the wind. Fuck 3. The real question is, did he have leftover nuts and bolts? No, he didn't. They look nasty and scraggly as fuck. This one definitely looks nasty and scraggly. I don't know when my great uncle would have gotten it though. It's weird. It's creepy. I don't like it. All right, back to the elves. Go to the elves. The marsh elves. The marsh elves right here, the Solari, were actually made by Shy. Shy made these guys. I just gave them a bit more personality. The Solari are primarily found only in the nearly uninhabitable Sola Marsh. They, like their elven cousins, Solari are extremely beautiful even under elvish standards. The other races also have a fondness for the Solari. Females are typically taller than the males and hold more power or clout within their tribal matriarchy. The Solari pray and give homage to their deity, the Creator, who designed every aspect of the world according to their beliefs. Their hair coloring is vast, with eyes of emerald or azure. Their skin is adorned with white markings placed upon them by their celestial mother, the female lead druid of their tribe. Like I said, this one was created by Shy. She drew them up originally, and I just kind of added a bit more panache to them, a bit more flair. We have the Valley Elves. They are found throughout Eldarrun, for they are perhaps the most common and willing to be with the other races. The term Valley Elf is used for they enjoy traipsing around the lush valleys that dot Eldarrun. Unlike other elves, Venisra are nomadic, for they spend much of their time traveling by horse from city to city. They utilize horses for much more than just transportation. They also use them for combat, companionship, labor, and as merchandise. Their appearance is much like that of the Greyneer, but they have a blonde to browned hair with simple brown eyes. But they still have a similar grayish hue to them. The Ilian, or Wild Elves, despise outsiders, both elven and non-elf alike. Considered the strongest of the elves, for they act like the ocean that surrounds them. They do their best to assault their enemies relentlessly with calculating and fluid actions. The Wild Elves are believed to be to only live in the Eldarrun and the islands nearby. It is rare to see an Ilian with beyond the northern reaches of Eldarrun without chains or a collar. The Ilian are often wanted for bodyguards or labor aboard sailing vessels. That want has led many wild elves to being kidnapped and sold to the overt slave trade of Eldarrun. Do Valley Elves sound like the Valley Girls? Hey girl, hey! Like, oh my gosh. Like, man, yes, girl. Bitch, please. I don't know what the fuck a Valley Girl actually sounds like, but that was my closest impression. I could do woo girl. Woo! Everyone knows what a woo girl is. It's where you go to the bar and you sit down, you go to have a drink, and you see a bunch of gals in the corner, and they're all getting like weird shot names or whatever. They're pounding back duck farts or something, you know. And you see one of them pick up a purse, start waving it, start going, woo! That's your woo girl. Everyone has these in their group. Everyone knows this person.
Hey girl! Hey girl!
Like, whatever. Like, oh my gosh. Did you see him looking at my ass? Oh my god, yes. Slay girl, slay. Fuck that shit. Alright, the last elf. The wood elf. They are your stereotypical elf that everyone thinks about when they hear the word elf. I'm
back, baby.
Thank you, Alpha. They are true forest dwellers and have a natural rapport with animals. Sylvans are known to stay away from most major cities because they are not accustomed to the hustle and bustle. Wood elves are generally very kind-natured and are more prone to living in the tallest and... are more kind-natured and are more than willing to assist weary, lost travelers through the thicket of forest, without being seen, of course. They are prone to living in the tallest and wildest of the ironwood and silverwood trees that surround the Slin's Respite. Hair of various blondes, skin of porcelain, and eyes of hazel, these elves are certainly beautiful like their wooden wonderlands. Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. Exactly. If the ass ain't fat, it's a waste. I don't know. We used to call wood elves squeakies because of all ours used to talk in high-pitched voices. I had someone that tried to give an Irish accent to an elf, which everyone thought was weird because usually you think of like Irish being the Irish or Scottish being like a dwarf, and someone did it for an elf and everyone just fucking gimped. Legolas. Yes, Legolas. Probably a bit less tall, though. Legolas was quite tall for an elf. Usually elves are slightly shorter than men. Than humans. Not just men, but than mankind. The gnomes. They are like dwarves in many aspects. They are small in stature, tend to have beards, and have a great deal of the same skills. However, gnomes are thinner, shorter, and generally more well-liked. They also tend to have a very deep social structure than most dwarf societies. There are two variants of gnome, the common and the deep. They operate very similar to one another. Gnomes base their roles in society by their clan or guild. You have arms masters, artisans, crafters, tinkers, and spellweavers. Arms masters are fighters, strategists, and warmongers. Artisans take care of creating the daily essentials like artwork, cuisine, home products, housing, and the like. Crafters prepare all the armor, jewelry, potions, tailoring, and weapons. Tinkerers are always coming up with new inventions to make life easier for everyone by making automatons, farming structures, mining rigs, and the like. Finally, spellweavers, as the name suggests, take care of the gnomish magical needs. Every gnome is part of a guild that matches their abilities. If there is a gnome that isn't associated with any clan, they are called unfit by the rest. Each clan or guild member carries on their person a brooch with their seal. I would think an Irish elf would be a leprechaun. Elves would be Swedish or Norwegian. If I knew how to speak like a Swede, I could probably do that, but I don't. I'd probably do it extremely terribly, and I'd feel really bad. The common gnome, the Penrillen, are found everywhere across Eldarrun and are typically liked by the civilized races. Like their cousins, they are very much about their guild or clan, for all gnomes want to make life better for everyone. A major trait is their appearance because they have well-kept beards of all colors, eyes that span the rainbow, and hair of a similar spectrum. Now here comes the nutsack. Here comes the nutsack. The naked mole rat of races. The Snivelbliven. Gnomes are physically quite different from the Penrillen. They are completely hairless and have a pale gray to bluish skin tone. Snivelbliven are just as formidable in combat as any other aspect of life as their cousins are. The deep gnomes also tend to destroy the idea of subterranean creatures being ill or mean towards surface dwellers. They are very well liked and considered grand companions in the eyes of the Eldarrun inhabitants. Rar. Oh my. Skinless, hairless heathens. I actually got a little bit of flack for calling this group the half-breeds, but that's what they are. They're half-breeds. Half human and half elven, half orc, half human, half ogre, half human. Just because that would probably be the easiest way to go about it, since on average they're all roughly the same size. The half-breeds. They are a combination of two different races or creatures. Well, it is something mixed with human. The three primary half-breeds are half-elves, half-ogres, and half-orcs. Many of these mixed breeds will have more physical characteristics of their non-human parent. However, there's always a chance for the opposite to be true. there's a chance for human physical characteristics over the non-human. Because of this severe difference in parents, the classes available to each race are vastly different as well. They're not full breeds? No. There is no full-blooded orc. If there is a full-blooded orc, they are probably not in civil society. At least not very often. Same with ogres, because usually full-blooded ogres, unless you're going with a very particular historical lore, are usually very hard to find. I'm not saying they can't be. I'm just saying I don't have them written in. So if someone wants it, it's not hard to do. Have elves, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's elf mixed with human. Get out of here, beard. The half-ogre are just as the name describes, human and ogre. Half-ogres never happen by chance. It is normally a product of torture in one way or another. All half-ogres enjoy the strength of the ogre parent along with the size which it grants. Most of these half-breeds are not treated well no matter where they are, but some claim that mercenaries enjoy having these expert doorbusters amongst their ranks. Slavery is very typical when it comes to half-ogres since they have the bulk for being great bodyguards or doing manual labor. Skin is normally a pale shade of green with dark-colored hair. They stand on average much taller than humans and have noticeable tusks. It is stated that females of this mix are often desirable since they are rarely ever seen. Unless you're Shrek telling Donkey, this is my swamp. If you're curious about why there's differences in males and females, the biggest reason is to create another narrative. So Shy's character in the book is a female half-ogre. And with them being rarely ever seen, she'll probably never actually encounter another one. She might be the only one that she will ever meet in her existence. It makes that character a little bit more in-depth. It just adds more narrative capabilities to that character. It's not over a sexist, sexual, crazy, deviant bullshit. It's to provide more narrative. That's also why there were no female dwarves for quite some time until they were allowed to be out and about. Gotcha, bitch. Half-orcs are viewed somewhat like detritus amongst the races. Usually they end up working as muggers, murderers, or thugs for various people willing to pay. Most consider half-orcs not worth the effort since they have very brutish way of dealing with issues. However, unknown to the general populace, they are very cunning and tactful, using their fearful demeanor to their advantage. Around the height of humans, but far brawnier, this race tends to have skin color ranging from rust red to mossy green. Hair is normally somewhere in the black, gray, white spectrum. Eyes are often eerie, soulless black, or blood red in color. The description of the hairs and stuff like that, it just made it easier for other individuals, because when some people sat down to make their characters, they would agonize over their skin color, their eye color, their hair color for so long. I can make a character from start to finish, full backstory and everything, in less than 30 minutes. I had someone spend almost 3 goddamn hours building a single character, just filling in their character sheet, not even giving a backstory, no deity affiliation, not even writing down their actual attributes, just deciding their height, weight, age, hair color, eye color, if they had any tattoos, if they had any scars. 3 fucking hours. So I did this just to simplify that. You go, okay, these are your general idea of what you can play with. Choose something in that category. Make it simpler on yourself. Do female dwarves have beards too? Technically, all women have a beard. And you women can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but if you get really close to someone else's face, you can see the hair. So you all technically have hairy faces. You all technically have beards. It may not grow as long, but they're there. Sometimes they're darker than other bits of your facial hair. Sometimes they're lighter. So yes, they do technically have beards. Some of them might grow them out. Some of them might shave them. That is up to them. Also, before anyone jumps down my throat about this, yes, you can choose something other than male and female. I went with male and female because it makes it very simple. No, we have mustaches. That is not true. You get nice and close to a person, you can see the hairs going down the jawline. Get up real nice and close to your mirror, or have your significant other, your kid, do whatever, and have them do this. Have them just pinch at your jawline and they will pull your hair. You will have hair pulled. I like my beard, thank you. Some people do. I'm perfectly fine by that. If you got it, flaunt it. All right, here's Cal's favorite, the halfling. Are y'all ready for this? Okay. The halfling. They are by far the most neutralized race in all of Eldarrun. They have no natural enemies. Most other races don't consider them a threat. And they are by far the shortest and maybe even the portliest race. When it comes to halflings, like most other races, they are varied. There are different types or variants. However, they are almost indistinguishable from one another. The primary trait that defines them is where they live and who they associate with on a regular basis. Halflings are quite fond of living in the hills and dells around slow-moving rivers with plenty of fishing spots, for they are rather quiet and a docile race. Their hair, skin, and eye color can be nearly infinite. Did you like that explanation of them? That they are the most neutralized race. With no one hating them at all, and usually considering them less than nothing. They are not a threat to anyone. Exactly, see? It's perfect. Toast. I mean, toast and fish. So, I mean, it kind of fits well, right? I did good with that one. Long before I even met Cal. The Harefoot is the name or title given to the most common of the halflings. These halflings are primarily seen sitting along roadways, streams, parks, and in just about any location that humans are present. They are often puffing on pipes, operating/visiting taverns, doing farm work, and in some instances, locksmithy. Harefoots are known to help defend the places they call home with a frightening vigor. Normally jovial and ready for a good meal with light conversation, Harefoot are quite the life of the party. Tell me that doesn't sit well. Tell me that doesn't quite, like, almost perfectly sound like Cal. And I didn't even know her when I wrote this. The Stoutish. Halflings are typically found living beside dwarves and gnomes. They are hardy and seem to enjoy the stricter lifestyles of the subterranean races. Plenty of the Stoutish can keep up tankard for tankard with the dwarves and gnomes, which is a skill in and of itself. Stoutish halflings tend to be more stubborn and bullheaded compared to the others, but that might come from the bedfellows they keep. Until you're asleep and end up waking with a halfling sitting on your chest with a blade. I mean, yeah, I can see it happening. Cal hates parties. I didn't say party. That they're just the life of the party. But they enjoy a good meal with light conversation. They are the life of the party. Every time you play Minecraft, people come to listen to you. I plead the 5th, 6th, and 8th. I likes the Cal. I think Cal sounds like a Harefoot. People come just to see how Cal responds to things. I know it. The Tall Fellow is the title for halflings who enjoy the company of elves. These halflings, like all, enjoy song and music, but have a love for the melodies of lyres, harps, violins, and nearly any stringed instrument that is within elven hands. Along with the songs, they all seem to express a great interest in wines and cultures of the ancient race. Tall fellows are snooty or snobbish in the eyes of the harefoot and stoutish, for they act like they have seen and done it all. I know Cal is awesome. I defend Cal quite often. I enjoy her presence. I just think the harefoot kind of sounds like her. Okay, other than they like operating taverns and doing farm work, the locksmithy, I could definitely see Cal having the ability to pick locks without a doubt. Defend the places they call home with a frightening vigor. She sleeps with knives nearby. I know this. I have talked to her about this. I know she would like stab a bitch if someone walked in her home. I know this. But she's normally very jovial. She's usually very happy to speak with people. She talks about food, usually light food with less conversation. And everyone loves her, so she's definitely the life of the party. I could definitely see her sitting along a roadway, a stream, or a park, and just about anywhere watching other people. I could definitely see that, because she used to travel a great deal. So yes, I think the harefoot does kind of sound like Cal. And like I said, I wrote that long before I ever met Cal. Oh, and then we have the final one, the humans. The most common race on Eldarrun. She squeeze. She does squee. She squeeze a lot. But it's so fucking adorable. They have the largest number of people. She's the life of our party. See? Exactly. They have the largest number of people compared to the civilized races. Hold perhaps the most highest of powers, kings, thanes, clergy, etc. Have the most cities and produce the most amount of trade. Humans range in size, shape, color, creed, and location. Unlike all the other races, humans do not receive any boons, penalties, or powers beyond what their chosen class offers them. Humans can be any class, but they cannot multi-class like the other denizens. When it comes to Eldarrun, there's a great deal of animosity amongst the races. But all treat humans with the utmost complete neutrality, which has its own unique benefits. So there you go. Even if you choose a human character, at least you got something on your side. And then I have the classes, which I'm actually taking and editing bits and pieces of this on occasion because I have it written in like 3 different, the fuck's the word I'm looking for? 3 different files. So I'm taking bits and pieces and putting them in here, going through, editing them, trying to make it all look the right way, because right now it doesn't. So, good night, Kyle. I'll be jumping off here soon anyways. Like, seriously though, Cal, like, everyone really enjoys you. So I really hope you weren't taking the harefoot thing to be bad, because it's not. The harefoot is the halfling that everyone loves.
Wake up.
I sleep with a kukri on my headboard. I sleep with a gun by mine. Because I don't think a knife would save me from the skinwalkers that visit. I need something a bit more oomph. Yes. Good night, Cal. Good night, Cal. Good night, Kyle. I hope you guys that stuck around and were invested in the Dungeons & Dragons discussion actually enjoyed it. I can hear her blushing from over the pond. She might be, I don't know. I'll find that out when I check my phone. I'll probably get a big ol' like, fuck you, Beagle. Not at all. I have a crossbow by the side of my bed. I didn't know if it was actually beside your bed or if it was in the next room. That's why I didn't mention the crossbow, because I didn't know if it was by your bed, if it was the next room. Because you were cleaning your stuff up. Good night, Tay. You thought it was awesome. I'm glad you thought it was awesome. D&D has been a huge part of my life for a very long time, and I really, really want to share it with more people and have that community aspect come out more and get more people involved in this and less people being afraid of it. A lot of people that I played D&D with back in the day, they were terrified to do it. They're like, I don't want to do the math. I don't know if I'm going to really remember everything. I don't think I can role play. I don't think I can do any of that shit. And I said, have you ever read a book and the words in that book touched you so deeply that you shed a tear? Have you ever read a story and felt so connected to the character that you could feel their pain? And if the answer ever came back as yes, I told them straight up, then you have what it takes to play Dungeons & Dragons, and you have what it takes to play it correctly. You don't have to worry about the weird math. You don't have to worry about not being able to get into the character, not being able to role play. The fact that you can take someone else's story and feel that story is all you require. If you can do that, you can definitely play Dungeons & Dragons. Early to mid 80s. It was fun, but I don't remember how to play. That's completely fine. I will teach anyone. Do I know much of the newer stuff, the 4th edition and 5th edition? No, because I didn't really care for that stuff. I played it about a handful of times each. I've played Pathfinder. I've played East Texas. I've played various GURPS. I've played various. There was a Conan the Barbarian one. It wasn't titled as Conan, but it was in the same world. And some of their stuff I enjoyed. Other things I really didn't fucking like at all. They're all a little bit different, but I will definitely teach this style to just about anyone if they really want to learn. If they really want to play, I will sit down and teach them in a video call if I have to. Because playing Dungeons & Dragons is a very fun thing to do. It allows you to be with people in a different way. It allows you to lose yourself in a world that is a mirror of our own, but less terrifying, less detrimental, less it's something that isn't going to make you pull your own hair out. Unless you're rolling really badly, then you might. But Dungeons & Dragons has become extremely popular over the last, decade, I suppose. It's become really popular. And I think more people should get to experience it in a different format than just jumping headlong into the new stuff without any understanding of what's truly going on. I also don't like how the new stuff is usually set up. It's not straightforward all the time. They have a lot more restrictions. Like you have your action phase, and you have your pause, your waiting phase. You have your healing auras or healing bursts or whatever the hell they're called now. It all just became way too much. Every single race can be every single class and every single mixture, and the number of races just expands and expands and expands. The game has become so inclusive, it's actually pushing people out because it's creating this idea of too many options. And when you have way too many options, a lot of people become scared and they just can't deal with it. Keeping stuff kind of straight formatted, easy to read, easy to understand, easy to digest makes for a better game. in my personal opinion, because I've read those books, I have those books. I have 5th edition content. I have 3.5. I have 4th edition books. And it's not quite that easy to digest sometimes. It lets you escape in a fantasy world, such as IRL. It does let you escape for a little bit, but it's always a world that's mirrored in our own. That way it doesn't feel completely, totally different and alien. Exactly. Now I'm looking forward to it, so thank you, Beagle. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting that all finished and everything nice and formatted properly and shipping it out to the masses. And hopefully we can get a group of at least 6 people. If we get somewhere between 10 to 12, I would need to have like a moderator the entire time that we would be playing, to moderate not only the live stream, but also moderate the players as well. I need a referee for the players, and then I need a referee for the chat. At one point I had all Vampire Chronicles and played the Kindred game, but that was 20 years ago as well. However, I love lore. Alpha will do both, maybe. You might not be able to do both, Alpha. You might just be able to moderate chat. Make it so chat gets to make some of the decisions every now and again. Should they stay or should they go now? Alright though, guys. It is 11:30 my time. I think I've rambled on and shown enough D&D stuff for the night. I think it was a great night. I think it was fun. I think it was informative to people, and I'm really glad that people definitely show an interest. So I thank you for all of that. That would be cool too. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. I'm going to call her an evening. I hope you guys all have a good night. Yes, have a good night, Mouse, Mayo, Rhythm, Wolf, Jesse, if Jesse's still around, and Alpha, and anyone else who's still here lurking and wishing to listen to me ramble on. There was a few things I didn't show, but that's okay. A different time. Good night, Lord and Lady Beagle. I'll tell her you said that. It'll make her smile, because she's not Lady Beagle. We are not actually married. But anywhoozle, you guys have a wonderful evening. I am out.